that Lisandro Martinez is not in the starting lineup for Argentina and Otamendi gets the nod, but the feeling in South America is that Otamendi was always likely to partner Romero.
Yeah, and he must have a good understanding with Romero, so that's why he's playing Otamendi. He's got the experience, he's played in the national team a long time, but I think Martinez has been outstanding. There's lots of doubts over him when he went to Man United. Could he handle the Premier League? He's been one of Man United's best players, so I'm really surprised he's not in the starting 11, but you can understand Otamendi and Romero have had a good partnership, but I think he'll get the game time in the World Cup, Martinez.
So Lionel Messi is set. He is just relaying some instructions to his teammates. Argentina, as I say, in the blue and white stripes, the black shorts, kicking from left to right in the first half here at the Lusail Stadium, the venue for the final on the 18th of December. Saudi Arabia will get the game underway then. And we are underway then between Argentina and Saudi Arabia. Argentina, one of the favourites to go all the way in what is almost certain to be Lionel Messi's last attempt to lift the World Cup. And Argentina in possession with the stadium bathed in about, I don't know, a quarter of sunlight. It is 1 o'clock local time, so it will be the hottest temperatures that the sides have to compete in during this tournament. It's not really been an issue so far. It might be interesting to see how it pans out today, though. Yeah,
I think both these countries are used to hot weather, so I think they'll be used to it. But you are right, the temperatures do look really hot. I was watching games yesterday, and the games were later on, and when it was coming to the 65th, 70th minute, you looked at some of the players, and they really did look tired because of the heat. So yeah, it can be a factor, but this is. In games like this is where you need to keep the ball 1 and 2 touches, tire out the Saudi Arabia players, and then space will open up, and that's when you can create things.
So Argentina with the ball, which we expect them to have a lot of. The last time these sides met was a friendly in Riyadh a decade ago. That finished 0-0, and I'm sure Saudi Arabia would be delighted if they could come away with that scoreline today. It is Romero, the Tottenham Hotspur centre-half, spinning it wide to Angel Di Maria, who collects on the right flank. Di Maria, big roar from the fans goes up as Di Maria tickles it inside. Martinez inside the area. Messi! Oh, brilliant save! Lionel Messi almost putting Argentina in front in the opening few minutes. Really well worked, and credit to Mohamed Alouez for getting down with a big hand to make the save.
It's a great save from Alouez. I was saying go, because when Messi gets into them situations, usually he bends that into the far corner, and he's you're not thinking he doesn't get all the whip that he wants into that far corner, but it's a brilliant save, and that will give him confidence moving forward, and it's a great start from Argentina.
Alouez getting down very well to make the save. There's 40th appearance for his nation, one of the many who plays for Al Hilal. All of the Saudi Arabia squad play their club football in their homeland. On a decent run in terms of their fixtures, unbeaten in their last 10 friendlies. Goals are the key thing for them in terms of not scoring that many, but also not conceding too many. Alouez perhaps showing why with that fine save. Messi collects it in the centre circle, tries to scamper away from a couple of challenges, and a few challenges flying in there, and Slavko Vincic, the referee, has eventually awarded a free kick into Morrison. Yeah,
there's a lot of good big tackles there. Paredes was one of them getting involved. The Pool was getting involved, and yeah, Saudi Arabia not coming to make the numbers up. They're making their tackles, but going back to that opportunity, I think Martinez on the edge of the box, he tried to turn, and it was a lucky break. He should have been really setting Messi for the shot, but as we just said earlier, it was a great save. But it's been a good start, and Di Maria looks like he's up for it on the right hand side.
First period of possession for the Saudi Arabia side. Al Dossari dispossessed, though. Messi collects on halfway. There's going to be a free kick for a challenge on Lautaro Martinez, and he's rolling around at the moment on the deck. Slavko Vincic, the referee, going across to have a word with the Saudi Arabian midfielder Al Malki for the challenge.
They're not going to make it easy, and you don't make it easy. That's what the manager would have said. You need to win your tackles, make them know that you're around, and it's not going to be an easy game, and that is how Saudi Arabia have started.
Argentina arriving in this game on that long unbeaten run, 36 matches without defeat now for them. One more and they will equal Italy's international record, that is, of 37 matches without defeat, which obviously was a launch pad for the Azzurri's success at Euro 2020. Argentina with the ball, with Romero deep inside his own half, knocks it to Tagliafico, left back position. Argentina just knocking it about from side to side, no real pressure on the ball from Saudi Arabia. And in the right-back area, Molina has it, floated forwards looking for Di Maria, doesn't reach him, cut out by Al-Sharani, and Al-Sharani straight out of play, just a bit hurried from the left-back there. Mention that Lionel Scaloni is somebody that had time with West Ham United. Well, the head coach of Saudi Arabia, Hervé Renard, is a former Cambridge boss.
He's got good experience as well. He's been managing at international level for a long time. He's a good manager, so he'll have his team set up really well, disciplined, and they're not just sitting back as well. They are trying to play on the front foot.
On the left-hand side now with Papu Gomez for Argentina. Really good shackling work from Abdelhamid on him, and he's saying it's gone behind for a goal kick rather than a corner. And
it's a corner.
It looked like it did come off the Saudi Arabia.
We do try it sometimes when we know we don't want to give away corners. We will appeal.
So it's Rodrigo de Paul who looked like he was going to take the corner, but has actually left it now. And it's Lionel Messi who will deliver it. Left-footed outswinger from him, as Slavko Vincic just goes to have a word with some players that are congregating on the penalty spot. A bit of pushing and shoving. We saw a bit of wrestling going on yesterday, didn't we? Harry Maguire not getting that decision. In comes the corner, and there is a bit of a bundle in the area, and Slavko Vincic waves it away. One of the Argentina players going to ground and immediately appealing. Meanwhile, Messi has it, left wing, lovely footwork from him, and then tries to flick it forwards for the run of Rodrigo de Paul, who is crunched over there by Mohamed Kano. He is leaping up and down with frustration that the free kick was given, but he certainly clipped de Paul, who also made a bit of a meal of it.
Yeah, he did catch him, he caught him, and de Paul did make a meal of it, but there definitely was contact, and Argentina have started well. The atmosphere seems good, but Saudi Arabia are making tackles, Mark, and we did say that. You can't sit here and just sit back. You have to get in Argentinian players' faces, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
7 minutes gone then, and Lionel Messi with this free kick for Argentina for that foul by de Paul. This the first of 4 matches for you on 5 Live today. Denmark against Tunisia, Mexico, Poland, and France, Australia, all to come. Get used to it, because 4 games a day is what we're going to have for a while now. A feast of football for you on 5 Live. In it comes from Messi, clipped towards the edge of the area, clever move, but the referee is coming
to, it's a VAR check.
Well, I did say that there was a bundle in the penalty area, and it's the first time today that we're going to see a VAR check going on.
Mark, you know what made me laugh? It made me laugh because Messi took the corner, so the referee hasn't told anyone, but I think it's for a foul on... There's 2. There's one on Cristiano Romero, and then there's one on Paredes, and I think it might be the Paredes one.
Well, I tell you what,
he's looking at.
The bundle there on Paredes is nothing like the one on Harry Maguire,
exactly.
when he was wrestled to the ground.
And he's going to give
the referee's
penalty.
Looked at it, and he's awarded the penalty.
The consistency in the World Cup so far is a joke with the VAR, because Harry Maguire's one yesterday was much worse than that, and then the Stones one that they did give was so less, and then this one was less as well. But that they give a penalty, and it must be the main man who's going to take it, Mark.
Slavko Vincic, the referee, went across, didn't need much time to have a look at it. Paulus van Boekel, the Dutchman, is the video assistant referee who told him to go and have a look at the monitor. And it probably is a foul, but the bar seems to be a lot higher than that, given that the Harry Maguire incident didn't lead to a penalty yesterday when he was absolutely wrestled to the ground. Paredes, yes, he was tugged, but, well, I don't know anymore. What I do know is that the main man, Lionel Messi, is going to take it.
You're probably
penalty.
right. The contact was soft, but there is contact there. But be consistent, because Harry Maguire yesterday was getting pulled all over the place, and they didn't even have a look at it. Well, they might have had a look at it, but didn't even tell the referee to go over to the monitor. It's consistency, and that's why people get upset with VAR, because it's not consistent enough.
So Lionel Messi is stood hands on hips One of the Saudi Arabia players, Al Faraj, is being told to leave the area now. Messi takes a deep breath, sizes up the target in front of him. Al Owais tries to make himself as big as possible, spreads his arms, all in yellow, now stood on his line. The whistle goes, short run up from Lionel Messi, who rolls it in. So cool from Messi. There was hardly any pace on the ball, waited for the keeper to go the wrong way and then rolled it into the other side. Easy as you like from Messi, and Argentina have the early lead, and the main man has got the goal. It's Messi. It's Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 0.
Was it ever in doubt? He stepped up, you looked at his face and you thought very confident. He didn't even run up to it, he slowly ambled into it, waited for the goalkeeper to move and just rolled it into the opposite corner. Fantastic penalty from Messi. He's got his campaign started and it's 1-0 Argentina.
Couldn't help noticing those golden boots that he's wearing today. Lionel Messi, reminiscent of some of your collection, Clinton.
Yeah, but I wasn't golden. He is golden. I probably should have wore silver or bronze, to be fair. But nah, his boots are special, and I did have some outrageous boots, but nah, his boots are good. He's got top boots for a top player.
Well, it was always going to be tough for Saudi Arabia, and they have fallen behind early on. It was a cheap penalty, I have to say, but Messi wasn't messing around with his conversion. We've had a couple of wickets at the cricket. Adam Mountford
have 3 now. England 90 for 6, they're subsiding. Vince out for a torturous 22 from 45, caught on the fine length boundary. Joss Buttler caught having a tired slog at Zampa, out for 1, and now Wokes out for 1. England a mile away from the 364 they need. 90 for 6.
Thanks, Adam. Al-Dasari trying to make some inroads, but just loses out on the edge of the Argentina penalty area. Saudi Arabia have the ball. Al-Malki in possession. Still not quite sure whether they are going with this 4-4-1-1 lineup, because they haven't had any of the ball down in the Argentina half for a long enough period of time, and now they're under pressure in their own half. Al Faraj is dispossessed, and it's worked all the way back to Mohamed Al Owais. See, Clinton, I'm still struggling with that penalty.
So am I struggling. We've seen replays, and there is obviously contact, but there's not loads and loads of contact. And as I said, yesterday's one was more of a blatant penalty than today's one, and it's just the consistency.
Ball down the line, looking for the run of Al-Sharani from left back, but too much pace on the ball, and it just bounces behind. Another play for a goal kick. Saudi Arabia trailing Argentina to a Lionel Messi penalty. Down at the end that a lot of the Saudi Arabia supporters are in. There was a bit of issue this morning with traffic, I was hearing on 5 Live in the breakfast show. Rick Edwards speaking to a fan who said that a lot of Saudi Arabia VIPs were being ferried here and there, which had led to a massive backlog of traffic, but the attendance does look pretty decent. The sun is still shining, and Argentina off to a flying start at this World Cup, leading through a Messi penalty to 0.
Yeah, the atmosphere looks good. It looks like there's a lot of fans in there as well, and yeah, the game started ever so well, and it's positive. And you know what, Mark? This is a game where if you want to be golden boot, Messi's thinking, can I fill my boots? That's what you're hoping. Can I fill my boots and get that golden boot?
Emi Martinez with a rare touch of the ball. The Argentina and Aston Villa goalkeeper all in red in his goalkeeping ensemble, and Argentina in possession. They have dominated the ball. Saudi Arabia barely able to maintain possession for any period of time, and actually Al-Shahiri looks like he is playing in a front two with Al Faraj for Saudi Arabia, so perhaps it is a bolder 4-4-2 than was set out in the FIFA graphics, which had them as a more conservative lineup.
Yeah, I think when they don't have the ball, they'll probably drop into and make it one up front and just go back into their shape. But when they're attacking, you're right, it is a 4-4-2.
Just under a quarter of an hour played. 1-0 Argentina, as Angel Di Maria's touch just lets him down as the crossfield pass was played to the right flank.
See, he's been a top player for years, but when they tell you as a young, you know, when you're a youngster and you're learning, he tried to control the ball there with the wrong foot, with his left foot, but he's done that for years, so you're not going to tell Di Maria what to do. But any youngster watching or listening, you should really control that with your right foot, because he's a left-footed player playing on the right-hand side. That's why he wants to control it with his left foot.
Hervé Renard, the head coach of Saudi Arabia, is still remonstrating with the officials about the award of that penalty. He is not a happy man, and you can have some sympathy for him, given what we saw yesterday, and he may have felt that you would need to commit something really, really bad in the penalty area for the video assistant referee to get involved.
And you know what? You can understand why the Saudi Arabian manager feels aggrieved, because, as I said, it's consistency. If you see that all the way through the tournament, you wouldn't complain. You'd be happy with it. So you can see they feel aggrieved at the moment, Saudi Arabia, because you don't want to concede this early in the match, which they've conceded, because now Argentina have their confidence right up.
Well, there's a free kick for Saudi Arabia, with the challenge coming in on Saud Abdelhamid, who was up from fullback deep in the Argentina half, and he was clipped by the boot of Depal, and it's going to be a free kick for Saudi Arabia midway inside the Argentina half, which is spotted up by Salman Al-Faraj. Al-Faraj stands over it. Saudi Arabia trailing by 1-0 at the Lusail Stadium. Defending for Argentina to do for the first time in this game, and they're all camped just by the D of the Argentina penalty area, whipped in towards the far post, and it needed dealing with. Paredes inside his own area should be able to clear. He's worked it to Tagliafico, left back area, long booming clearance up towards halfway, collected by Abdelhamid for Saudi Arabia. Just down in that right wing as they look at it, a little sliver of sunshine inside the stadium that is still remaining as Tagliafico goes down under pressure and is clutching his right boot, but I think he's going to be okay after he was just caught by Al-Shahiri.
There's some strong challenges in the game, Mark, already in the minutes that we've had. Really strong challenges going in. So as I said earlier, Saudi Arabia, and they're not just here to make the numbers, they're going to make a game of this, even though Argentina 1-0 up. They're not out of the game yet.
Well, they do look more defensively solid than previous editions of their set-up. Saudi Arabia, as the ball is whipped in towards the near post, and Emi Martinez gets down to safely gather after it was sent in by Saud Abdelhamid. First time that he's had to do anything of note, Emi Martinez, and it was a routine gather for him at his near post. May have got a deflection on its way through, but he's just knocked it short, and Argentina will bring it out from the back. They're able to do that without, you know, much opposition, no real pressure on the ball from Saudi Arabia. They let them get up to round about the centre circle area inside the Argentina half before there's any press.
Yeah, and I think that's the right thing to do. You don't want to go and press individually, because Argentina will pass around you. So, and as we said, it's a hot day. Conserve your energy and press in the right areas, and that's what they're doing at the moment. As I said, they'll feel unfortunate about the penalty, but they've made a decent start.
Linton Morrison with us on 5 Live, first of 4 commentaries for you from the 2022 World Cup. Denmark against Tunisia is on the way at 1 o'clock. At 4 it's Mexico against Poland, and rounding things off, France, the holders, against Australia at 7 p.m. our time. Saudi Arabia enjoying a bit of the ball in the Argentina half without doing a great deal with it at the moment. Collected by Cano, who is about 10 yards outside the area. Cano advancing now, flicks it through for Abdelhamid, who's got to the byline, couldn't get the cross in, but they've recycled possession. And now Albrakan to Al-Shahiri into the area. Cano couldn't bring it under his spell, and Argentina have got the ball away towards the centre circle area. But Saudi Arabia keeping the pressure on, although as I say that, they've given the ball away on halfway, and this could be dangerous. Messi pokes it over the top. Martinez looks offside to me. The flag will stay down for now. Martinez over the top, and now the flag goes up. That was a pretty blatant offside, though.
It was it was blatant, but it's a poor finish from Martinez once he gets in there. I think he knows he's offside, because the finish, he plays high and wide, but he went too early. Messi played it around the corner and he went far too early. But as I said there, Saudi Arabia are getting a bit of possession, getting confidence, the crowd are getting behind them. Should be a good game.
Well, if there are any weaknesses in this Argentina side, one of them is perhaps the 34-year-old Nicolas Otamendi, someone that might be exploited. You think about the fact that there's Lewandowski to come in the shape of Poland in the section for them to deal with. And also Molina is seen in South America as a defender who's better at attacking than actually defending. Saudi Arabia not able to ask too many questions so far. Tagliafico, the left back, trots across, but Albrakan unable to keep the ball in, and in the sunshine he takes the throw, and the Argentina fans are absolutely bouncing at the moment, all of them jumping up and down together perfectly in time. And it's been a strong start from their side, leading 1-0.
And Mark, I've watched a few, well, it's only just started, so 3 or 4 games, but I've watched a few of the games. This is the best atmosphere I've seen at World Cup so far. The crowds are getting involved, the place is jumping, it's brilliant.
Yeah, Argentina certainly look very well supported, given the amount of blue and white inside the Lusail Stadium. And Saudi Arabia, obviously, it's a very short journey for their supporters to make to get to Qatar, so unsurprising that there's a lot of green inside the stadium. And I think Clinton's right that it's perhaps the most populated by fans of both teams that we've seen so far.
But you've seen a few empty stadiums, and you're a bit disappointed because you don't want to see that. It's a World Cup. This is what you look forward to. It's the best tournament ever to play in. So you see that, but the atmosphere today is brilliant.
20 minutes played, 1-0 to Argentina. Messi trying to get away by the edge of the area, swept across to the left-hand side, and then whipped goalwards, but over the top. Di Maria was waiting for it, Messi in the centre as well, but the ball from Papu Gomez was too high and behind for a goal kick, which gives us a chance to get an update from the cricket. Adam Mountford.
Another wicket, England crumbling. 95 for 7. Moeen Ali, the latest to go, holding out to Adam Zampa. A 3rd wicket for him, out for 18. England 364 the target, all over the place. 95 for 7.
Saudi Arabia might be all over the place here. The ball whipped in towards the 6-yard box. Messi was rising, but the flag is up for offside, and that's the thing that they need to be aware of, that they're so quick getting forwards. This team that doesn't have to rely on Lionel Messi anymore, as we were hearing from Tim Vickery earlier on. They've got that midfield 3 that are so quick to pounce on the ball, and then they can use Di Maria and Messi to get it into Lautaro Martinez. No Lo Celso, that is a big blow for them. He's become a key component of the side, but it is a much more balanced Argentina than we've seen before. Really came to the fore in that Copa America success, and it's no longer that give it to Messi and pray outlook that they previously had.
No, the squad's brilliant. As I said, they got players like Dybala on the bench, Alvarez and McAllister. I like McAllister. I think he's a top player. He was probably a bit unfortunate not to play. They will miss Lo Celso, but they have got players that can come in and make a big difference. And now you see this squad now, and Tim was saying it before, I think this is the best Argentina squad we've seen for a few years now.
You see the 5th player to score at 4 different World Cup tournaments. I'll ask you in a minute if you can name the others, Clinton, as Messi chases one over the top, looked offside to me, he's into the area, Messi will score, and with the flag come now, it will. Well, a little grimace from Lionel Messi. I think he knew that it was coming, but the way he stuck the ball away was so nonchalant. It was so easy for him to just take it in his stride and stroke it home. But he looked offside at first glance. Well, it might be closer than we thought.
I think
his shoulder might just be off.
Or his right knee might just be off. I think he just goes too early. I said it straight away. But once he gets into that position, he finishes well. And Saudi Arabia have a high line. It's hard to have a high line if there's no pressure on the ball. They have to go and press if they're going to have a high line like that, because Martinez, Di Maria and Messi will get in.
Do have the semi-automated VAR for offside decisions, so that was very quickly checked, and we're back underway. So still 1-0 to Argentina thanks to that Messi penalty, as Tagliafico prevents attack on the right flank as Saudi Arabia look at it, and it's out for a throw which will be taken by Saud Abdul Hamid.
What did you have for me? You said you had a little quiz. Was it a quiz? I'm not really good on quizzes, but let's give it a go. No, I'm not bad.
Lionel Messi is the 5th player to score at 4 different World Cup tournaments. I'll let you...
Close as one.
Correct.
What about the Brazilian Ronaldo?
No. The other Ronaldo is one.
Oh, Cristiano. So
and
then,
is there one more? There's a couple others. One well-known South American.
What? Old. Very old. Pele?
Correct.
Yeah, I thought as much.
You might not get the other one, but I'll let you have till half-time to try and come up with that. So midway through the first half, Argentina leading by a 1-0 against Saudi Arabia. It's Messi who scored from the penalty spot, and I don't know, I think Saudi Arabia will almost be pretty pleased with how it's gone so far, because apart from that and that early shot from Messi that Alois did really well to get down to block, they haven't created too much else.
No, and I thought Argentina would dominate possession, but they sit off and let Saudi Arabia have the ball. That's what it looks like Argentina do. Let other teams have it and then they break with the players that they've got, the Messi, Martinez, and obviously Di Maria. And then they've got three mid. That's where I think they miss Lo Celso. You're spot on, because they got the pool and they've got Paredes in there who sit there. Then they need that creative spot just in front. I know they've got Messi further up, but that's where Lo Celso and Messi had a really good partnership.
Argentina with the ball, with Romero, knocks it square to Otamendi, who brings it up to just by the centre circle region before going backwards of square to Romero once again. Now into De Paul, who's under pressure and has given the ball away, and all of a sudden Alfaraj comes clear. Alfaraj looking for the quick give and go, and it doesn't come off, and then there's a foul in there by Al-Shahiri. Otamendi is down, and well, that was half an opening for Saudi Arabia, but they didn't have the quality to make the most of it.
Yeah, Al-Sarraj should do better. They win the ball back from De Paul. It's a poor ball pass from De Paul, and they win it back, and then you're thinking, go and break, but they took too long to break, and it was good defending from Otamendi. A lot of people question, should he really be playing, but he has got that experience. It's good defending, and we're just seeing a replay there of Messi, and his knee and his hip were just offside, weren't they, Mark?
Yeah, the semi-automated VAR graphic came up to just show us that while the top half of his torso basically was offside, so it wasn't that close in the end. Argentina with this free kick just inside their own half. Slavko Vincic ensuring that they're back the required distance. One thing I was wondering, Clinton, is obviously we've got referees and video assistant referees who are all from different countries. I think the referee in the England game yesterday was Brazilian, and obviously we've got European referees in charge of this game, so perhaps I know that they're all meant to toe the same line, but I know that there will be different thresholds from what they're used to in their domestic leagues and also refereeing in the Champions League.
Yeah, there is different, because the Champions League is different, and in Europe sometimes it's different from the Premier League. So it is going to be different, but a foul's a foul. Handball's handball in my eyes, and that's what you should see when you look at the video assistant and you have a look at the monitor and it sees it's a foul, you're being pulling, then you make the decision. But it has to be the consistency. I think that's the players and managers and fans get aggrieved when it's not consistent.
Argentina leading, 27 minutes played. It's Martinez inside his own area who sends it long upfield. One thing that has been consistent is the lengthy amount of stoppage time that we've had in all the games. But I think that's because they're following the rules strictly in terms of 30 seconds for each substitution, 30 seconds for each goal is what you're meant to add on. We just don't get that too often in the Premier League or the Champions League. Here's Tagliafico on the left wing for Argentina. Ran out of space though, and the ball is lost just by the edge of the Saudi Arabia area, and then a meaty challenge goes in. The ball spins up towards the centre circle. Underneath it is Molina, now slipped through here. Lautaro Martinez is in and chips the keeper and scores, and Argentina have their second goal of the game. It's Lautaro Martinez with the little dinked finish over Al Owais, and they've doubled their advantage. 2-0 up inside the first half hour. Argentina perhaps laying down the marker for the tournament. Martinez makes it 2-0.
That's what I said, if there's no pressure on the ball, you cannot squeeze the line, and that's what Saudi Arabia are trying to do. It's a good ball, and once Martinez gets into that position, you always see him scoring them kind of goals for Inter Milan. It's a brilliant run, and yeah, he's just onside. His arm might be, but he's onside. Once he gets into it, he dinks it over the goalie. It's a fantastic finish. He did have Messi beside him, but centre forwards in that position, always going to go for goal. Brilliant finish.
The Inter man with his 22nd goal for his country and his 41st appearance for Argentina, and he is one of the players that has helped to take the pressure off Lionel Messi when it comes to getting the goals for Argentina. Lautaro with the lovely little dink over the keeper. They are checking, there will be the VAR looking, the semi-automated one, to see whether he just made his run a touch too early.
Yeah,
it looked as
close.
though his arm was offside, which if it was the lower part of his arm, it'll stand okay.
Yeah, of course it will.
And the check.
No, he's going to have...
No goal. He was offside.
He's offside. See, I said. So when we were just having that discussion about different countries having, obviously, where they see it differently, it looked like he might just be onside, but as I thought it was his arm, but maybe part of his body was just offside.
Well, the graphic will come soon enough where we'll see just how much of Lautaro Martinez was beyond the last man, but the most important thing is that the goal is struck off and it remains just 1-0 to Argentina. But Clinton, that's a useful warning for Saudi Arabia, I guess, in terms of what you say about not applying any pressure to the ball.
Yeah, I don't mind if you're going to do that, but you can't keep a high line. Obviously, I'm the centre forward, so I'm thinking in my mind, if there's no pressure, I'm going to keep making runs in behind, because eventually I'm going to get in, and Martinez will keep doing that.
It's a good crossfield pass to Abdul Hamid, who's got the ball in, and that's more up than out by Romero. It might go for a corner. In fact, it's cleared away, and now the decision is that it is going to be a corner. So Saudi Arabia have their first corner of the game, and that was a little bit nervy at the back from Argentina as the ball was crossed in by Abdul Hamid.
Yeah, it was nervy. It was a good ball from Abdul Hamid, and it was good defending in the end from Cristiano Romero, but he don't head it. He should head it away. He heads it out for a corner, and I think that was his body shape. But Saudi Arabia are growing into this game more.
So they have a corner, trailing by a goal to nil as we hit the half-hour mark at the Lusail Stadium.
His head, do not hold anyone, because let me tell you something, you got to be touch tight, but don't pull shirts or grab anyone or stuff anyone, because they will give penalties.
Yeah, it wasn't that much of a tug that led to the penalty that was awarded Argentina's way. So I'm sure the Argentina players will be wise to that, as the corner is knocked short, and the cross that comes in could have gone anywhere. Edge of the 6-yard box, a couple of Argentina players went for it, spins out towards the edge of the area. Cano has it, and he's immediately closed down by a couple of players, and then a nibble from Rodrigo de Paul gives a free kick to Saudi Arabia on the left wing.
He hasn't started well, de Paul. He's been poor in possession, giving away needless free kicks. Just stand up, he's not going anywhere. It's lazy defending. He hasn't started the game well enough for me yet, de Paul. And I thought Otamendi might have had a problem because he was down, but he hasn't.
Otamendi being offered a handshake by Ali Abdullahi, but not interested in shaking hands with the Saudi Arabia centre-half, and just shoving him as he tries to kiss and make up.
Yeah, well, he's trying to shake his hand, and Otamendi don't want to take his hand, then fair enough, we move on.
Free kick then, good area this for Saudi Arabia, trailing 1-0. Left wing as they look at it, and it goes from Al-Dosari and safely gathered by Emi Martinez.
It's a poor ball in, because they're the situations where you're not going to get a lot of chances and opportunities, and when you do get your free kicks and your corners, you have to put it into the box.
Very useful pass on the left wing for Di Maria to chase, but just made his run a touch too early and the flag goes up. But they can't keep playing this game, because sooner rather than later Argentina will be onside and they'll be in. Yeah,
and they'll time their runs right, because you can't eventually keep making them runs and be offside. There'll be once where they make the right run and they will get in, but I think that's how Saudi Arabia play, Mark. They're always going to squeeze up high, and they don't put the pressure on the ball, so they are going to concede goals if they keep defending like that. 6
clean sheets in their last 10 qualifying games. They've not been easy to score against. The issue has been at the other end, just 4 goals scored in their 9 friendlies, and they last scored more than once in October 2021, although that was against China. They're on the attack here, but Otamendi in the right place to clear the header, and Di Maria now 10 yards outside his own penalty area, loses possession, and the sliding challenge from Al-Shirani sent it out for a throw to Argentina midway inside their own half.
Yeah, they're competing, Saudi Arabia, they are competing. Argentina know they're in a game. It's not easy for Argentina, there's no time and space, but it's a World Cup. You don't expect any games to be easy. I know England's result yesterday was easy against Iran, but England made it look easy, and that's what you have to do when you're playing teams that are lesser to you and less superior to you. You've got to go make a statement, and Argentina haven't made a statement yet.
Ball bounces all the way through to Mohamed Alouais, who made that really cracking save from Messi early on, and was then beaten from the penalty spot by the same man, but aside from that hasn't had a great deal to do. And Saudi Arabia perhaps growing in confidence. Al-Dosari loses out and then tries to win the ball back, but it's broken to de Paul just shy of the halfway line. Rodrigo de Paul infield to Angel Di Maria, still inside the Argentina half, now worked in to Messi in the centre circle. His scoop pass to the left is one of those collector's items. Miss-hit Messi pass, too much on it for Papu Gomez, out for a throw.
That's why I said, wow, it's not Gomez's fault. I thought he could have got there, it was a bad ball, and Messi puts his arm up and says it's a bad ball. Very rare. I was there. What time was that, Mark? And we need the time, the day, and the year. No, I'm only joking.
34 minutes into the game. You can mark it down if you want.
Mark it down, yeah. Messi giving a bad pass away.
So we're seeing now the semi-automated VAR for the offside against Lautaro Martinez,
Shoulder.
and it is his shoulder, so it's just beyond that so-called t-shirt line, which is the cut-off point.
So it was the right decision then. That's why this is why we like VAR. Sometimes we don't, but then we do, because that was the right decision. It was the right call.
And quickly done, because obviously with it being semi-automated, there's no hanging around and drawing of lines. Here's Messi though, centre field, lovely pass through. Martinez, is he onside? Oh my word, lovely step over, brilliant finish. The flag goes up again, and it's a real shame unless you're a Saudi Arabia fan, because that was wonderful work from Lautaro Martinez. He completely dummied the goalkeeper, stepped over the ball, let it go through his legs. The goalkeeper went completely the other way, but he is offside by a good yard or so.
He don't have to go. Messi's got his head up and he runs straight. Just arc your run and then you'll get in, because there's no other fullback near him. And that's what I'm saying, they're going too early at the moment. And people will say, oh, Messi could have played the pass earlier. No, Martinez doesn't have to make his run that early. He has to arc it. He's making his run straight instead of arcing his run and bending it.
Into Morrison with us on 5 Live on the first of 4 commentaries from the World Cup for you. Denmark against Tunisia is at 1 o'clock. At 4 it's Mexico against Poland, and finishing things off France, Australia at 7 this evening. Lionel Messi looking a bit frustrated, his side leading at the moment, but he'll feel that it could and perhaps should be by a larger margin if they'd been able to just bend their runs a bit better and stay on side. The finishing has been top draw, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. The finishing has been brilliant. When they've got into them situations, they've finished ever so well, but they just got to time their runs. That's the biggest problem. Time your runs and you will get in. But we know they can finish. The likes of Messi, Di Maria, Martinez, we know they can finish. They're clinical footballers and clinical strikers.
Messi dropping very deep, about 20 yards inside his half, and gets the return pass back immediately. 3 Saudi Arabia players go towards him, but a lovely curling ball from him up towards the centre circle area. Now it's worked to Molina, up from fullback, infield to Depal, and then Papu Gomez is challenged from behind, and that's going to be a free kick. And Argentina just asking whether Slavko Vincic might be minded to get a card out for the first time. It was through the back, but I don't think it was the worst contact in the world from Al-Dosari.
No, Al-Dosari, he was trying to win the ball and he just catches Gomez. I think they wanted the pass earlier, Messi and Martinez, but Gomez just held on to it too long. But the referee got it right. It was a foul.
8 minutes or so of normal time in the first half still to be played, but we know that there's been a decent amount tacked on in the matches so far. Here is Di Maria, right wing for Argentina, into the feet of Messi, who just pirouettes away from a challenge and plays it square infield to Paredes. Paredes rolls the ball between his feet and then finds Messi down to walking pace now, as Argentina look to try and get it wide to Tagliafico, but it's another overhit pass on that left flank and it's out for a throw.
Yeah, Scaloni won't be happy with Argentina the way they pass. Paredes just passes it out of play. Their passing hasn't been good enough so far, even though they're 1-0 up. I don't think he'd be happy with the performance so far.
Tomorrow we've got 4 games again. That's the way it is for a while now. Germany, Spain and Belgium all in action on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and Rick Edwards once again presenting 5 Live breakfast from Qatar from 6 AM. Got a break in play at the moment, and allows me to tell you about the fact that you can get your daily dose of World Cup reaction, debate and analysis on the World Cup Daily podcast on BBC Sounds, and the Match of the Day Top 10 World Cup Series is available. Gary, Alan and Micah out now on BBC Sounds as well. So the magic bottle of spray is out and being administered to Salman Al-Faraj, who is one of their key players.
Mark, you know that other goal scorer, yeah? Is he German? Usila.
You've been on your phone, haven't
I'm going to be honest. Usila, is that right? How have I got that?
Uwe Seeler is correct.
Well,
yes.
I'm not going to take the credit from it. I'm going to not take the credit, because I've just had a WhatsApp message from one of my good mentors, Mark Bright. Mark Bright's just messaged me and gave me that answer. So I'm not going to take the credit, but Mark Bright's given me that answer.
The Palace connection.
Of course
coming
it
to
is.
The fore
And he's always listening.
I'll give Brighty the credit for that one.
Exactly,
then.
give
the right
Brighty.
answer. It was
exactly.
the toughest one to get. Here is Al-Dosari then, about 20 yards outside the Argentina area. Saudi Arabia only trailing 1-0 And there have been some positives in their performance so far. They've lofted a ball into the area, which Romero is underneath for Argentina. It's an interesting game so far. Argentina, I guess, could be 3 or 4 up, bar a couple of marginal offsides, but Saudi Arabia have stuck in there. They've posed a couple of questions without seriously threatening Emi Martinez. It's a difficult one to describe.
It is a difficult one where you think Argentina have been sloppy. Saudi Arabia probably gone as they expected, with them they're not really having loads of possession, and when they're getting into it defensively, you said they've been good, but in the final third you can see why they haven't scored a lot of goals. They don't create, and they look like they lack that centre forward who can, you know, go and cause Otamendi and Romero problems. But I think Scaloni will be a bit, even though they're winning, be disappointed with how Argentina are playing at the moment.
5 minutes to go until half-time. Argentina looking to extend this 1-0 lead. Di Maria with a lovely reverse pass, and Romero's up there from the back. It's Romero's cross, didn't come the way of Messi. I was surprised to see that he was as far forward as he was. He's done it a few times for Spurs, though. Romero nods it infield to De Paul. De Paul to Di Maria. Di Maria sweeps it crossfield to Messi. Lovely control from Messi, and then excellent defending as well from Saud Abdelhamid to just take it off the toes of Messi, who brought it down well, was getting ready for a shy goal from the angle, but the Saudi Arabia fullback just stuck his toe out to send it behind for a corner. Really
good defending. I think Messi sees it first time. He sees Martinez and he's going to play it first time, but he takes that touch, and really good defending.
So corner for Argentina. This is where their penalty came from, so the Saudi Arabia defenders will certainly be doing their utmost not to drag anyone down. It was a Messi corner that led to the penalty. He's over there, but it looks as though it's going to be Papu Gomez to take this. Messi is in attendance, so it might be a short corner. A couple of Saudi Arabia players are nearby waiting to close that down if they do go for the short option, which they do. Messi collects it. Papu Gomez gives him the option to return it, about level with the edge of the Saudi Arabia box at the moment. Now Papu Gomez jinks and weaves and goes over. Looked like he was trying to buy that free kick, and the referee has bought it because Slavko Vincic has penalised Abdullah Al-Malki for the challenge.
Yeah, Al-Malki, he's complaining that it ain't a foul, and he does just catch Gomez. He catches him on the ankle, and yeah, he is late. He does catch him on the ankle. It's the right decision from the referee.
So free kick Argentina, leading 1-0, and down on the deck at the moment is Papu Gomez as Messi goes across to spot up the ball. It's probably 5 yards outside the left side of the Saudi Arabia penalty area. Messi stood over it, sizing up his options, sweat dripping off his brow as he just wipes it away, and then gets a message to some of the players inside the area as the referee goes across to get a message to the Saudi Arabia defenders in terms of jostling in there. Cluster of green shirts and white and blue shirts by the edge of the 6-yard area. Messi's free kick is into a very good area. A couple of Argentina players went for it. It bounced out to De Paul by the D, and a wild shot from him well over the top.
Oh yeah, it's a good ball in from Messi, but it's well defended. But when it comes to De Paul, he's just on the edge of the box, and you're thinking he's usually got really good technique, but his technique went wrong there, and he blazed it high and wide over the bar.
Hervé Renard, the Saudi Arabia head coach, the former Cambridge United manager, is out there and is wearing one of his famous crisp white shirts at the moment.
Yeah,
he's famous for dress sense wise.
How long we got? Because I can tell you, I had some outrageous ones and some good ones, but his shirts always look like they're ironed immaculate.
I'll give you a chance to think about some of those outfits as we get an update from the cricket and Adam Mountford.
1-2-6 for 8 England in the 30th over, chasing that massive 364. A little bit of resistance, but Sam Curran hold out Abbott for 12. Dawson just survived a tight LBW appeal. England 1-2-6 for 8.
Thanks, Adam. Not going well for England then, and Saudi Arabia could have been in business just now after Argentina was sloppy just outside of their own penalty area, but once again the quality just let them down when it came to the final pass. Will that be the one concern for Lionel Scaloni, that a few times they've lost possession in a bad area and against a team with a more potent strike force? That could be costly.
Yeah, imagine you do it someone like Poland with one of the best strikers around in Lewandowski. You will get punished, and I do think there is problems at the back.
They've worked their way through here, and then over in the area when Al Dossari, but he wasn't appealing for anything. I think he just lost his footing, but it was neatly worked between him and Al Shahiri, and he's just a bit unfortunate that he lost his balance as he was going inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, and you can see that Argentina are good, pleasing on the eye, but you do worry about them if you play against a top quality striker and he's got great movement, he will get in behind.
Messi in that quarterback area to collect the ball inside his own half, was trying to arc it crossfield to the left flank, but it was overhit by Lionel Messi and all the way through to Al Owais. And the pass crossfield from Al-Maki is cut out, and Al-Maki then makes amends just outside his own area by clipping it forwards to Cano. Cano loses out again though, and Argentina have wrestled back position left side, and now go back towards halfway into stoppage time almost now at the end of this first half, waiting to see just how much of it we're going to get. Have been bonanza amounts of additional time in the matches so far.
I like that though, the time wasting. I think they should do that over here more. I like it because too much people time waste and referees don't add it on.
Rodrigo de Paul loses possession, and Saudi Arabia inside their own half have coughed it up once again, and here is Di Maria going towards the edge of that Saudi Arabia area, a bit too casual and dispossessed, but he's won it back. Paredes now centre field for Argentina, sweeps into the edge of the area, Molina's ball in. Di Maria tried to work it to Messi by the D of the area, couldn't do so. We're going to have 5 minutes bolted on at the end of this first half, so a decent chunk, but not as much as we've been used to seeing in some of the games.
That's the least I've seen a whole tournament. What about, I know England's one was like 14, I think it was 14 minutes and maybe even longer, and then last night Wales is 10 minutes.
Well, Argentina looking to make the most of this 5 minutes of additional time, and they've got it with Papu Gomez down by the byline, left side. He's crowded out though, forced to go to Tagliafico, who sends it backwards of square to Paredes, midway inside the Saudi Arabia half. Argentina leading by a Messi penalty to 0. They've had the ball in the net a few more times, but the offside flag's denied them. Now they've got to the byline, and Rodrigo de Paul has a crossing chance here, and he was looking for Messi on the edge of the area, but wasn't able to find him. Argentina trying to press home their advantage and grab a second before the break. If it finishes 1-0 at the end of this first half, who's the happier team going to be?
Oh yeah, Argentina will still be happy because they're winning, but Saudi Arabia will be happy because at one stage, when the way Argentina started, you were probably thinking this could be 2 or 3-0 before halftime. So they stayed in the game, had some close calls with the offside decision. But yeah, Argentina now are starting to play.
Messi, lovely arc ball towards the right corner of the area. Di Maria's got it, runs at the back line, then clips over the cross. Too high for anyone that was by the edge of the 6-yard box, but it'll be kept alive by Papu Gomez. Gomez stood up by Saud Abdulhamid and forced to go back to Paredes. In centre field, lovely ball from him, and worked across goal, but gathered by Alois. Well, it was a really nice idea by Angel Di Maria, but he didn't get enough purchase on it, and it was straight through to the goalkeeper. Wicket at the cricket, Adam Mountford.
End is nigh. England 1-2-9 for 9. Dawson caught behind off the bowling of Marsh for 18. England still 235 runs behind. They're 1-2-9 for 9.
And if you want ball-by-ball commentary of the last rights, that's available on BBC Sounds as we're into the last 2 minutes of additional time in this first half at the Lusail Stadium, which will be the venue for the final. It's an 80,000 capacity arena. I think it's probably going to be fairly close to full, with a large smattering of Argentina fans. I think it's the largest attendance that we've seen so far, as Saudi Arabia are going to make a change right before the break here, and it's Salman Al-Faraj, who's one of their most creative players, that is going to be withdrawn, and it must be an injury given that we're so close to the interval, as Hervé Renard just struts around his technical area, and he is on the deck at the moment, Al-Faraj. Not quite sure what happened there that led to the injury, or maybe he just pulled up.
Yeah, he's the captain, and he's probably the talisman, and yeah, it's a huge blow to lose him, but he did stop. He just stopped straight away. He pulled up and he felt something, and he's had to make a change. You never want to see someone going off injured in a big tournament, but yeah, we wish him well.
Normally operates just in that pocket, the number 10 position, the creative spark for them, and off he goes and tears off his captain's armband. Really disappointing for him. And another attacking midfielder, Nawaf Al-Abid, is going to replace him. Another very experienced member of the squad. This is 55th cap for his country. He's scored 8 goals previously, and he is now on it in first half stoppage time, and he looks absolutely gutted, Alfaraj, understandably so.
Yeah, he looks emotional because you work so hard to get, and not many people go and play at a World Cup. You can see there's a few tears there and grimaces because this is a big stage for a lot of players, and to play in a World Cup when you get injured in it, you do feel massively disappointed.
So Al Abid comes on, and Saudi Arabia just looking to see out the remaining seconds of stoppage time at the end of this first half. 5 additional minutes that are being played. Argentina 1-0 up thanks to that Messi penalty, and will feel that they deserve to have a larger margin, but the offside flag, or the semi-automated VAR machine, has denied them a couple of times. Here is Molina in the right-back area for Argentina. Some whistles from the fans ahead of the half-time interval. Saudi Arabia have won it back, and Al-Shahiri trying to lead the counter-charge. It's in midfield with Mohamed Cano. Cano's ball just squirts off a Argentina player and rebounds towards the D of the Argentina box. Di Maria, with his back to goal, goes all the way back to Molina, who finds his keeper, Emi Martinez, who hasn't had a save to make so far. Argentina pretty comfortable at the back, despite Saudi Arabia picking up possession with some careless play from the Argentina defence a few times, and that Argentina defence just knocking the ball around in front of the penalty area before getting it to Messi in the centre circle. Knocks it square towards Paredes. We've had the 5 additional minutes and then some. We're into the 6th additional minute now, and 5 were signalled. Hervé Renard, the head coach of Saudi Arabia, squats down in agony as Argentina continue to push and probe and move the ball from left to right, but it is more of a keep ball session at the moment. They don't look too intent on playing a forward pass, almost as though they're happy to just get through to the interval with their 1-0 lead intact. Messi drops towards the halfway line, the man whose penalty separates the sides. It's gone straight to Al-Sharani though for Saudi Arabia. Now it's Altan-Bakhti, and all the way back to the keeper, Mohamed Alouais. Alouais takes a touch inside his area, sizes up his options, and then sends a long booming clearance upfield, and on we go still. We're into the 8th minute of additional time now, and there goes the half-time whistle from the referee, Slavko Vincic, and Argentina leading by Messi's penalty to 0. They've obviously been the much better team, but Clinton Morrison, Saudi Arabia can take something from that first half? Yeah, they can. That is still only 1-0 because Argentina have created chances, but the timing of the run or the pass has been too late, or the run's been too early. So I think they'll be frustrated, Argentina, because they'd want to come off probably 2-0 or 3-0 up. But you got to credit Saudi Arabia. They stayed in the game. They defended. They've been all right in possession. It's just the final third. They're lacking that creative spark. But no, it's been a good first half. I've enjoyed it. Well, Argentina well on course to equal that run of Italy's of 37 international matches unbeaten. Good value for their lead at the break mark. It is Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 0.
Got to work on those runs though, haven't they? Got to time them, Clinton.
Yeah, chappers, yeah. Going too early. Martinez is the one. I see there was one where Messi had it, and he's just running straight. Just bend your run. If you bend your run, you've got no defender, and this is the timing of the runs. You can say the pass is delayed, but hold your run. There's so much space in behind, but you're spot on, mate. They've got to time the runs better.
So far, so comfortable for Argentina. They lead Saudi Arabia by a goal to 0. Back with Clinton and Mark for the second half. Not surprisingly, it's all over for England in the MCG. Adam?
England 143 all out, with Ollie Stone bowled for 4, giving Adam Zampa a 4th wicket. It gives Australia a mammoth victory of 221 runs on Duckworth-Lewis Stern and a 3-0 whitewash. Australia's a mammoth score built on the highest ODI partnership compiled at this ground by Warner and Head, who both scored hundreds as they put together 369, or 269 I should say, for that first wicket. There was a little bit of resistance along the way from England's batting, but not a great deal. Roy made 33, Vince a torturous 22, Moeen Ali 18 and Dawson 18. England's successful white ball campaign over the last 2 months saw victory in Pakistan and, of course, the T20 triumph here at the MCG 9 days ago. But today, it's been a performance from the departure lounge. England lose, they lose 3-0 the series.
And now the test match players go to Pakistan.
They're already there. Well, they're in Abu Dhabi at the moment.
Yeah.
There's no one in this squad, to be honest, who is in playing that Pakistan Test series. They're warming. In fact, they play tomorrow. The schedule continues to be slightly ridiculous, Mark. The test players, and a lot of them obviously came from the T20 World Cup triumph. They're in Abu Dhabi, England against England Lions. That starts tomorrow. So we've got a team playing a one-day international in Australia here, a team in Abu Dhabi playing a warm-up game before the Pakistan Test series starts in a few days' time. It's a mad schedule. Against another England team. 3 England teams playing in 2 days, but there we go. That's modern cricket for you, Mark.
So you need a TMS team like that, don't you? You need a test team, a white ball team, and a test match Lions team, and then you're set.
We're not far away, but I can tell you, Mark, the commentary on that Test series 1st of December on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. I can plug whenever you want me, Mark. Don't worry about that.
Thank you very much, Adam Mountford at the MCG. 4 World Cup games today. The first one underway, of course, Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 0. Then we've got Denmark, Tunisia, then Mexico, Poland, and then France against Australia. We'll look ahead to Denmark and Mexico after the latest BBC News at 5 to 11. Here's Lisa McCormick.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Consumer groups say it's hugely concerning that a review by Ofgem of 17 energy companies showed that they were all failing vulnerable customers. Energy UK, which represents the suppliers, is disputing the findings and says that many companies have gone beyond what's required of them. Jonathan Brearley is the chief executive of Ofgem.
The most important thing for me is making sure that when you apply for help as a customer, you're consistently treated by your company. So what we're finding is basically it's potluck. You might get a good advisor that might help you, but you may also get someone who simply doesn't do the things that are needed.
So Keir Starmer has set out his plans to train more British workers to end what he's described as the country's dependency on immigration. The Labour leader told the CBI conference in Birmingham that it was important to invest in people who are already here.
The days when low pay and cheap labour are part of the British way on growth must end. This isn't about Brexit. All around the world, business is waking up to the fact we live in a new era for labour. And while they're adapting, our low growth model is holding us back.
Rescuers working at the site of an earthquake in Indonesia say many of those killed or injured were school children. The 5.6 magnitude quake caused landslides which buried entire villages in West Java. Most of the outstanding schools in England inspected since 2020 have been downgraded, according to a new report from Ofsted. Some of them hadn't been looked at for 15 years because the government had previously given outstanding schools an exemption from regular inspections. An officer from the Met Police Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Unit has been charged with assaulting a 14-year-old child. PC Paul Busey was off duty at the time. He's due before Basildon Magistrates Court in Essex on Thursday. A new low-cost transatlantic airline says it plans to launch out of Belfast in 2024. Fly Atlantic says it'll eventually fly to 35 destinations and hopes to create 1,000 jobs in the first 5 years. And official viewing figures show that around 7.4 million tuned into the TV to watch England beat Iran 6-2 in their opening World Cup game. 9.4 million watched Wales draw 1-1 with the USA.
Formula One. It's the pinnacle of motorsport, but it's just as famous for its high-octane extravagance, huge sums of money and sprayed champagne. In 2007, an improbable lo-fi crime nearly brought the high-octane world of Formula One to its knees.
Disbelief is the only word.
Spygate drew in some of the most powerful men in the sport's history.
It will haunt the people involved for as long as they live.
All set against the backdrop of Lewis Hamilton's record-breaking debut and his ferocious rivalry with Fernando Alonso.
It was like a bomb that exploded within the team.
I'm Pete Tong, and this is Sport's Strangest Crimes, Spygate. Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022, with Mark Chapman.
Argentina lead Saudi Arabia by a 1-0 at half-time. At 4 o'clock, that's Qatar time, 1 o'clock UK time, it is Denmark against Tunisia. This is at the Education City Stadium here in Doha. Vicky Sparks and Pat Nevin will be our commentary team for that, and are in the stadium now, and presumably hoping for a better game than your first one at this tournament, Vicky.
Oh, absolutely, Mark. It couldn't be much worse, really, could it? I mean, we did our best, but there's only so much you can do when the football on show is quite frankly so dire. But we're certainly not expecting anything dire from Denmark. I think one of the key questions around Denmark at this tournament is, can we even call them dark horses anymore? I mean, I'm not saying they're one of the absolute favourites, but look, we know they reached the semi-finals of the European Championship. Their manager, Kasper Hjulmand, has said that on their day they can beat anyone, and we hear managers say that a lot, don't we? You know, it's a cliche phrase, but I think in Denmark's case it's true. They were very close to taking England to that penalty shootout, weren't they, at the semi-finals of the Euros in 2021. So in terms of the on-the-pitch football we're expecting from Denmark, Tunisia as well. Denmark are the favourites for this one. Tunisia have never got out of the group at the World Cup, but they've had only one defeat in their last 9 games. I think we're certainly going to see a better performance from Tunisia than we did from Qatar. But amidst all the on-the-pitch football that we're looking forward to in terms of the actual game, the biggest off-the-pitch football story for this, it's got to be Christian Eriksen. And just saying that name genuinely brings a smile to my face, given what we all saw at the European Championships last summer in that opener against Finland. The fact that we get to be here in this stadium and see Christian Eriksen walk out for Denmark at a major tournament once again for the first time since he suffered that cardiac arrest against Finland. I mean, honestly, even just talking about it now, you can already feel the emotions that will be surrounding this for Denmark, for Eriksen, and for everybody who is watching this.
It will be hugely emotional, Pat, won't it? I mean, obviously he's played football since then, but that fact, back at a major tournament so soon after, really. I mean, it still feels very soon after what happened to him at the Euros.
It does, and as you say, because it's a big tournament, it will feel that much more poignant. I bet you any money he wants it just to be normal. Wants it to be another game. He's played a whole bunch of games just now, and I think it's just a happiness, it's just a relief that he's back, being treated like every other player. And remember when he first came back, you know, players didn't even want to tackle him. You know, it was the weirdest thing, but it put football into a very, very normal perspective again after that, and we should never forget that you know, it's supposed to be a joy, it's supposed to be a celebration, we're supposed to be here to have fun. And yes, I agree with Vicky that when he runs on that pitch, we'll all have big cheesy grins and smiles on our faces.
I mean, as you say, still remember that first game back, and he was playing for Brentford against Norwich, wasn't he? And Brandon Williams fell to the floor with him and looked like he was going to chin him, and then realised who it was. Then instead gave him
it's like slide tackling Sir David Attenborough, isn't it? You can't do these sort of things.
You were part of the preview show, Pat. Peter Schmeichel on that preview show as well, and Vicky's right, there are a lot of people tipping Denmark, so I'm not sure we can call them dark horses. Peter's concern when he spoke to us that evening was maybe where the goals will come from.
Yeah, I mean, usually the teams that are doing well at the moment, be they domestic, be they international, they've got a right good attacking force, usually one brilliant player and a number of others who can, you know, add in. But to be honest, I still think they've got enough goals in them. I think, you know, they've not got a goal scorer. I mean, Dolberg can score, Damsgaard can score, Poulsen, you know, Brathwaite. They've got a lot of players, and we know her man as well can score. Eriksen can score as well. So there's plenty of people, and sometimes it is like that with some squads. They just share them around a little bit. So you might not have the top goal scorer, but they create enough chances, and more importantly, have a look at the defence. And it's the strength and depth in that defence that impresses me as much as anyone else. Looking at them all, there isn't a player in there that you think, wow, miss, apart from the goalkeeper arguably, apart from them you think, well, you could miss any one of them, maybe any two of them, and they'll be absolutely fine. Not sure that many teams can actually say that.
Vicky, Pat, for the moment, thank you. We'll be back with the two of them for our preview of Denmark against Tunisia, and that is a 1 o'clock kickoff. Then at 4 o'clock, it's Mexico against Poland. These two teams in the same group as Argentina and Saudi Arabia. Tim Vickery is still with us. And interestingly here, rather than talking about Mexico, the team, I'm interested, Tim, in talking to you about Tata Martino, the Mexican manager, who is at odds very much with the Mexican fans. It's all pointing in the direction that after this tournament he will be done with Mexico.
I don't know a Mexican coach who's ever not been at odds with the Mexican fans. It's a bit like sitting in a coconut shy, I think, being Mexico's coach. But whenever I've seen them recently, they play a lot of warm-up games against South American sides. I've been struck by how poor they've been. Maybe they're saving it up for the big night, but I've been very, very disappointed with them.
He's Argentine, isn't he, Tata Martino? He did have a spell in charge of Argentina. He's also in charge of Barcelona for a season as well. It's not his nationality that the Mexican fans have an issue with. It's, as you say, it's the style of football, his conservatism.
Yes, and they really haven't sparked at all. Maybe they're saving it for the World Cup. You know, one of the great things about the World Cup is it's like time speeded up. Good performance today, and suddenly he's a national hero again. And Mexico are on their way to that, the fifth game that they dream of every World Cup and never quite seem to get. But they're going to have to improve greatly on their warm-up performances and on qualifying as well if they're going to make an impact on this World Cup.
What did you make of Argentina's first half, by the way?
I thought Asia needed this after what we've seen in the first couple of days. Credit to Saudi Arabia. They've taken the risks with that high line and got away with it narrowly a couple of times. But they've stopped Argentina doing what Argentina want to do, which is to have the ball in midfield and just pass it around and wait for the gaps to open up. They've forced Argentina to go more direct. And there'll be once or twice where Argentina have been defending at full strength. I know you lot over there, you don't pay a lot of attention to the Club World Cup, but you might remember, start of the year, Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia gave Chelsea a good game. And the heart of this Saudi side is from Al Hilal. You're seeing that defensive understanding, that club understanding in the defensive line, although they have been running risks, but credit to them. They've been brave and they've stopped Argentina playing the way that Argentina wants to play. So I thought it was a good first half from Saudi Arabia, although you worry for them that as the limbs get tired and space opens up, Argentina will be able to find more of their passing rhythm.
Thank you very much, Tim. Tim will back at full time to continue the chat with us lot over here. A couple of other sports lines for you. F1's Chinese Grand Prix won't take place next season. That's because of the country's zero COVID policy. Belgium apparently aren't going to wear their white away shirts during the group stages of the World Cup. It had the word love on the collar. They've been in discussions with FIFA about that. And Germany played their first game tomorrow. That's against Japan. And Leroy Sané is out of that with a knee injury. The teams are back out for the second half. Argentina a goal up on Saudi Arabia. Back to Clinton and Mark.
Thanks very much, Mark. Yes, the players just making their way out onto the pitch at the Lusail Stadium. One question, Clinton. At the end of that first half, obviously offside decisions dominated a lot of the talk. Is that good defending or bad attacking?
Good defending. I think it's good defending and also bad attacking. The timing there runs too much. But good defending, because if we don't say good defending, Tim Vickery won't think we watch the Club World Cup. We always watching the Club World Cup, Tim. Don't you worry about that.
Club World Cup's biggest fan, Clinton Morrison then. So just underway then in the second half, Argentina leading by a goal to nil. Messi's penalty, the difference. It could have been a bigger margin at the interval. A number of goals chalked off for offside, one of which it was interesting. Lautaro Martinez, just the upper part of his arm, that debate about where the part of the body starts that means that goals will be struck off. And it was very close to that border. Anyway, it is 1-0. Saudi Arabia still in the game, and I think that they would have taken that if you'd offered it to them before kick-off, to be still in the shake-up at the start of the second half. Angel Di Maria with a lovely bit of footwork to wriggle away from a couple of challenges and gets the ball up towards halfway. Now Di Maria has gone over and he is clutching his thigh here, his right thigh, He's rolling around on the ground, and just wondering, was that a collision or was that more down to the way he fell?
I think it might be a collision because he looks like the top of his thigh near his hip, and yeah, he's getting up now. So good news for Argentina and the World Cup. You don't want to see some of the best players going off injured.
Di Maria is up and okay then, and Argentina are back underway. Down towards their own penalty area with Otamendi, square pass from him, now swept across to the far side. Di Maria chasing, the flag's gone up though against Angel Di Maria. First offside of the second half comes with less than 2 minutes played since the break.
Yeah, and it was a good run from Di Maria. It's a really good ball from Paredes, but watching that again, they're quick to put the flag up, but I feel like he was level there, but really good run. And I feel that's what Argentina manager would have been saying, start stretching him behind, and then they will enable space for Messi to get on the ball and create stuff in the second half.
Di Maria at his 4th World Cup, but 19 members of the Argentina squad are playing in their 1st World Cup, so he brings the experience, as does the likes of Lionel Messi, as the ball is collected on the halfway line by Mohamed Kano. Remember that they were forced into a substitution just before the break. Saudi Arabia, their skipper going off, and Al Abdid coming on, and now all of a sudden they might be going through here, and they've scored! Would you believe it? Saudi Arabia from out of nothing have a leveller. Salah Al-Shahiri has struck gold for Saudi Arabia, and the fans are on their feet and cheering. It's a mixture of pleasure and disbelief, I think, amongst those fans. They've drawn level against the mighty Argentina. Saleh Al-Shahiri struck it across goal beyond Emi Martinez and into the bottom corner. It's 1-1.
It's a brilliant goal from Al-Shahiri. He gets there. To be fair, Romero does not move his feet quick enough. He just takes a touch, Al-Shahiri, and Romero can't get back at him. But once he gets into that position, it goes through Romero's leg. Martinez can't get it. It's a brilliant finish into the far corner. He doesn't hit it cleanly. It kind of like bounces. But once that bounce does Martinez, it goes into the far corner. Absolute brilliant start. Brilliant for Saudi Arabia. Brilliant for this game. 1-1. Game on, Mark.
Well, Tim Vickery was talking about Al Hilal, and he is one of those that plays his club football for Al Hilal, and that is his 9th goal in 19 international matches, and what a time to score. Well, who saw this coming? Saudi Arabia back on terms. I think that's the first shot that they've had on target in the match, and it ends in the Argentina net.
Yeah, it is. But we were saying they were struggling to create stuff, but they always look to threat going forward. But he burst past Romero. Romero couldn't get back at him. And once he got in there, it didn't look like a player who weren't full of confidence. A good finish, and now we'll see what Argentina are made of. I think this game needed that. Because Argentina, I think, were in 2nd gear. Now they'll have to get out into 3rd and 4th gear.
There we go. Just seen the stat. First attempt on target. First attempt at goal in the game for Saudi Arabia, and it turns into their leveller, and now Argentina have to do it all over again. They stumbled to a 1-1 draw against Iceland in their opening game at the 2018 World Cup, and that sort of set the tone for the rest of the tournament. They eventually went out in the last 16 to France after squeezing through their group. Saudi Arabia haven't qualified from the opening stage since their debut in 1994, and have only got 3 wins to their name from 16 games played at the finals, but they are level at 1-1 and putting the pressure on Emi Martinez here after he received the ball. The goal scorer, Al-Shahiri, closing him down, and it's broken inside the area here, and just for a minute Albrakan was almost in. What's going on at the back for Argentina at the moment? Abdelhamid with a cross from the right side, and I think he's fouled his man, and that's a shame for Saudi Arabia because Argentina are wobbling.
Yeah, Albrakan didn't know what he was doing. He got into that position, and instead of getting his shot away, he tries to take too many touches. Don't have that much time. He should just get his shot away, like they did when they scored that first goal, but it's disappointing from Argentina though. I'm looking at it now and thinking we need to bring on some attacking options, because Di Maria's been a fantastic player, but he lacks that pace. Someone like an Alvarez or a Dybala, because it's been a struggle for Argentina in this second half.
Well, just the start Saudi Arabia were looking for, and the atmosphere has just gone up a notch as well. Plenty of Saudi Arabia supporters inside the Lusail Stadium, and they were all bouncing around after that leveller, understandably so. I said that if you'd offered them a 1-0 deficit at the break, they would have probably been very happy with that. They will be elated to be all square with 7 minutes gone in the second half.
Yeah, Al-Sharairi's down now because he's just had a collision with Messi. Messi just caught him on the top of his boot. But no, what a start it's been from the second half. You have to credit the manager at half-time. Whatever he said, he probably said, you know what, we can cause Argentina problems. There is some, like, you know, problems at the back for Argentina, and they capitalized on that, and it's been a brilliant start. But I think it's what the game needed. As I said earlier, I don't think Argentina have played to their potential at the moment, and now this will give them a lift in the second half.
Well, Hervé Renard has certainly given them a lot more belief, and they look more defensively solid than previous Saudi Arabia sides. 6 clean sheets in their 10 qualifying games, as I mentioned. The issue has been trying to score goals. Just 4 scored in their 9 friendlies, but they suddenly look full of attacking intent now. And Abdul Hamid gets to the byline and gets the ball in dangerously. It's not been fully cleared. Chance for another, and the effort comes in. Is cleared by Romero's head. Saudi Arabia all over Argentina at the moment, and they've got it back in the area. It's 2-1. Absolutely incredible. Al-Dosari has turned it around. He somersaults in the air in celebration. The Saudi substitutes are on the pitch. They can barely believe this. The mighty Argentina are behind. They've struck twice early in the second half. Salem Al-Dosari with a stunner into the top corner. It's Argentina 1, incredibly, Saudi Arabia 2.
Al-Dosari, what a finish, by the way. It's good play down the right-hand side, and then they get a shot away, and Romero is brilliant defending. Once it came to Al-Dosari on there, he cuts inside and whips a fantastic finish right into the far corner. Martinez couldn't get nowhere near it, and the celebrations are even better than the finish, Mark. Fantastic. They thoroughly deserve it in the second half, but what a magnificent finish. His touch is brilliant. No one wants to touch him. He shifts it. Once he shifts it, he bends it into that top corner. Fantastic goal.
Dare I say, it would be a finish that Lionel Messi would have been proud of, the way that he just bent it in from the edge of the area. It's a wonderful strike. Martinez got his fingertips to it, but didn't get enough purchase on them, just pushed it into the side netting.
I always say goalkeepers always go with their wrong hand, because usually that's a left-handed, but they're used to that. You see that, and he does. He gets fingertips to it, but he can't. The finish is fantastic, though. This is definitely game on. Saudi Arabia have been excellent in this second half.
Whatever Hervé Renard said at the interval, it has had the desired effect. No change in terms of personnel. They did have to make that switch just at the end of the first half when Al Abid came on. But Argentina have barely been able to get out of their own half, and they've lost possession again just inside their own half. This time they've got a free kick. Rodrigo de Paul on the deck. He is furious. He wants a yellow card. Argentina look a bit lost. We just saw Lionel Scaloni, the head coach. He looks completely perplexed, as if he doesn't know what to do or what is going on.
Yeah, he's quiet on the touchline. He looks like they've been stung, and they have been. And what did they expect? Did they think Saudi Arabia were just going to come here to try and make up the numbers? No way. They've been on the front foot, and they're looking forward like they want to go and get a third goal. And the crowd are right behind it. Atmosphere is brilliant.
One of the other weaknesses that they were talking about, if you were going to nitpick about the Argentina side, was that while Leandro Paredes is very good at distributing the ball, he perhaps doesn't have the mobility to shield that back four, and maybe Saudi Arabia are making some currency out of that.
Yeah, I feel they lack pace all along that back line, and that's where they've struggled, going down the flanks, causing problems. And we did say that at the start of the programme. Defensively, I do think Argentina will struggle. Going forward, very good, but you're right, in midfield, Paredes, De Paul, they've not played well. They've not played well, even though Paredes got the penalty. They have not played well in midfield, so Scaloni might be looking to make changes soon.
10 minutes played in the second half at the Lusail Stadium. It's Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 2, but Lautaro Martinez has worked it inside. Messi, wonderful challenge on him, just as he was about to pull the trigger inside the box. Had to time that right. It was exceptional, it was immaculate, and otherwise it would probably have been 2-2.
The tackle's brilliant. A brilliant play from Messi and Martinez. Messi plays it to Martinez. He plays a great reverse ball and just looks like Messi's going to bend it into the far corner. The tackle is unbelievable. Great defending.
Game on now. Argentina coming at Saudi Arabia, who have this 2-1 lead against Argentina. Wow, what a final 35 minutes plus a decent amount of injury time we could have here at the Lusail Stadium. Argentina trying to turn the game back in their favour. They led 1-0 at half-time. They now trail by 2-1. And as I say, there's almost an air of disbelief around the arena that Argentina have seen this game turned on its head. We've just seen a replay of the challenge by Bakhti, and it is exceptional. Messi is annoyed, but not because he thinks it was a foul, because he couldn't get the shot away quickly enough.
That tackle is just as good as putting the ball in the back of the net, and the way when he made that tackle, he leapt in the air and was jumping. It's a fantastic tackle, and that's what we say, strikers get the headlines, but brilliant defending, magnificent.
Well, as I was saying, Saudi Arabia have been pretty miserly defensively. They have kept a lot of those clean sheets against sides not of the calibre of Argentina, but they know how to lock teams out. The high line is a gamble. It's been working for them so far. The penalty that they conceded came about because they were wrestling from a corner. In terms of the way that they've operated their back four, it's done the job so far. They've had a few scares. They'll probably have a few more before the end of the game, but with, 58 minutes played, the game plan is working for them so far.
It looks like some maybe substitution coming now, because it's a triple substitution.
Well, you wanted to see Julian Alvarez from the start. You're going to get at least half an hour of him here.
Martinez is coming on for Romero.
Slightly surprising that it's Romero rather than Otamendi that is being taken off, because he's certainly more mobile than Otamendi.
He has, but has he not played quite a bit of football before he came out? I think he was injured before the tournament at Tottenham, so yeah, and Alvarez has come on. I'm happy to see him come on, because I feel they're lacking some pace up front. And also Gomez has come off as well. Paredes, Romero's come off. Alvarez, Fernandez and Martinez have come on.
Thanks for that, Clinton, doing my job for me.
No, we're teamwork. That's what the team does. You play together, you work together.
So Enzo Martinez coming on is a player that there's been a lot said about in the build-up. He plays in that number 8 role, the Benfica man, just his 4th cap for his country. Lionel Scaloni fielding a number of questions about him. He said that he's a player with plenty of ability, and he's got an opportunity to show that now. Martinez in a foot race with the covering defender Bakhti, and the man who made that superb challenge on Messi to deny him a goal-scoring chance has got a free kick here after he was tripped by Lautaro Martinez.
Martinez didn't have the pace to get away. He's brilliant defending again, and I feel he's always got good movement, Martinez, but he lacks that yard of pace, and it was a good opportunity there. It was a really good ball and he was in on goal, but great defending again.
Well, are we having the big story of the World Cup so far emerging here? It is 2-1 to Saudi Arabia. Argentina have had 66% possession, 5 attempts on goal. Saudi Arabia have only had 2 shots on target, and they've both ended up in the back of Emi Martinez's net. And there's just more aggression about the way they're playing. They're pushing higher up the pitch. We said actually in the first half, Clinton, they weren't really pressing. They were letting Argentina get to just shy of the halfway line. Different story in this.
Yeah, because the manager, Renard, probably said, what have we got to lose? If we go and lose 2 or 3-0, everyone expected that. If we can go on the front foot and cause them problems, which they're doing in this second half, the crowd are getting involved, and that's what happens. You go make that first tackle, you go and press, the crowd gets involved. But the atmosphere, I must say, now it does feel like a proper World Cup, because the atmosphere is fantastic.
Yeah, proper game. It has been a rip-roaring start to the second half from Saudi Arabia, and is Argentina's long unbeaten run coming to an end? Who would have thought that it would be Saudi Arabia that might end their run. They're looking to equal Italy's record of 37 consecutive matches unbeaten. I think if you were a betting man, you would have thought it was in the bag, but Saudi Arabia have other ideas, and they're on the attack once again. They're not just sitting on their lead, they're looking to extend it, which is quite incredible to say when you think about the gulf in the quality of players.
I think that's the best way to handle it though, Mark, because I feel like they sat back in the first half and you were just waiting, it's a matter of time, but since they've come out second half, they carry on going, try and go and get that third goal, and then the game would be over.
Al-Shihiri, who scored that stunning goal, dispossessed here. Now the ball is fed through the centre, looking for Julian Alvarez, but he's buffeted off it. Good strength, and Julian Alvarez puts the pressure on, which sees Saudi Arabia put the ball out, and Hervé Renard in that trademark crisp white shirt of his goes across and remonstrates, and Lionel Scaloni, the Argentina head coach, strokes his chin. Wow, the headlines that'll come his way if Argentina end up losing this game.
They'll be under massive pressure if they lose this game.
And Mexico and Poland also in this section as well. Good looking ball in towards the 6-yard box. Martinez going for it, couldn't get a touch on it.
Great ball from Di Maria outside of the boot. Martinez couldn't get there, and Alvarez couldn't, but it's gone for a corner. It's a good game of football now, Mark.
Excellent stuff. Just over an hour played. Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 2. Corner for Argentina, which Messi is over. Left-footed outswinger from the left-hand side from Lionel Messi. Well defended once again. Ball is worked back to the left though. Messi collects it, takes a touch before playing infield. Rodrigo de Paul thought about having a shot, floats it in instead. Otamendi across, was he caught there? Great save by the keeper anyway. Argentina appealing for a penalty after a challenge on Otamendi. But I tell you what, Mohamed Alouais got down ever so well to make a stop at his far post.
Yeah, he did. But Martinez, it's the sub Martinez. He doesn't connect. He should be really scoring. It hits Tagliafico, and it's a good save, but he's the one who should be scoring. It's a brilliant save, but Otamendi's down. I don't know if VAR will check it. He was caught late, but I'm not sure if VAR will check it.
Well, the Saudi Arabia players are just showing what they think happened. Oh, I think they could be in trouble here. I think this could be a second Argentina penalty, although Messi's going across.
No, he's not even having a look.
Corner.
He's not having a look. I feel he feels he's not having a look. After watching the replay, he does catch him late off the ball.
Well, I cannot believe this.
Okay.
Well, the corner's taken, so they're not going to be checking it any further, but there was definite contact on the boot of Otamendi. And Argentina, who were given a penalty in the first half via VAR, I think should have had another there, Clinton.
That's more of a penalty than the first one in my eyes. Good game, man.
I'm glad to know that I'm not losing my marbles, because
definitely not. He does catch him. Otamendi plays it through, and then the defender catches his boot after.
Well, who knows what's going on these days.
I know it's a good second half.
Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 2. We've got, what, 26 minutes of the 90 plus whatever they add on once again. And Argentina have the ball inside their own half. Lionel Scaloni was just trying to get a desperate message out to his players to try and speed up their play going forwards as the thunderclap goes around the Lusail Stadium at the moment. The atmosphere electric, the Saudi Arabia supporters on their feet. They are perhaps witnessing the most incredible result in the country's history.
Oh, yeah, this will be one of the best results ever for them if they manage to beat Argentina, but there's still a long way to go. Argentina now starting to get into areas where they can cause Saudi Arabia a lot of problems.
Long ball over the top, there's no flag for now. Messi's onto it, angle against him. Messi closed down by a couple of Saudi Arabia defenders, gets it back towards Lautaro Martinez, and the defending is exceptional once again, and it's Al-Tambakti who is in the right spot once more. He's had a stormer of a second half.
No, he has. He's been brilliant, to be fair. You're right, the defending has been excellent. They're going to have to defend, Mark, if they want to hold on to this lead, because Argentina have took it up a few gears now.
Are having more possession down towards the Saudi Arabia penalty area at the moment, are Argentina. But Saudi Arabia still leading by 2-1, 25 minutes left to play. Messi, 30 yards out from goal, works it to the left. It's Alvarez who gets the cross in, and the keeper should claim, and does, and collapses into his 6-yard box, and will take his time before getting back up.
Yeah, it's not a good ball from Messi. I think Alvarez wanted it to go one-on-one, but he just pushes him too wide and he struggles to dig out across, and it's really good goalkeeping.
Launch along then by Alois towards halfway. Header drops down towards the figure of Al-Brikan for Saudi Arabia. Now here is Abdul Hamid on the right wing, pokes it forwards to Al-Brikan. Al-Brikan and to Abdul Hamid once more. And now they've got an overload on the left-hand side if they could have just worked it out there. But it's a meaty challenge from Al-Maki. And it's going to be a free kick. And once again, Argentina are lobbying the referee, Slavko Vincic, to get a yellow card out. And he has done.
Yeah, because Argentina, that's their only way to get back in it now. It's like they want a Saudi Arabia player to get sent off. He has to go in for that tackle. He is late and it is a foul. I think the referee makes the right decision. Otamendi does get there before, but I don't like the Paul going around there and saying he wants to get people sent off. Do your job, because you haven't had a good game this afternoon so far, sorry.
Still can't believe that they didn't have a look at that challenge on Otamendi, and I'm sure Argentina will be speaking about that after the game. What a way to begin the first of the feast of football for you on 5 Live today. The first of 4 live games for you. Denmark against Tunisia is at 1 o'clock. Mexico, Poland follows at 4, and then the holders France are up against Australia at 7 o'clock this evening. But a big story brewing at the Lusail Stadium. Saudi Arabia leading Argentina 2-1. We're midway through the second half. Tagliafico collects on the left wing, and once again, as soon as he brings the ball down, there's a Saudi Arabia challenge on him, and it's the centre forward Fares Al-Brikan who's back there. They have been all over them defensively, not giving them any space whatsoever. Stark contrast to the first half.
They look sharper than the Argentina players, Saudi Arabia. They look really sharp. They look lethargic, tired, some of the Argentina players, and he's made a triple substitution, and yeah, it has helped a little bit, but they defended brilliantly, Saudi Arabia.
It's Di Maria, works it into the feet of De Paul. Now it's Lionel Messi, centre field. Lovely tickle pass looking for Tagliafico, but once again it's one of the forward players, Al-Brikan, who's back there to nick it off the toes of Tagliafico and prod it behind for a corner.
Yeah, centre forwards don't like to defend, but he's defending for his team. He's doing it brilliantly, because they are getting ahead of steam now, Argentina.
Oh, you used to like defending, Clinton?
No chance. Again, nosebleeds crossing the halfway line.
Messi's corner towards the near post. It's headed behind by Lautaro Martinez. And they need to keep their heads here, Argentina, because Saudi Arabia are going to do everything they can to run down the clock, leading 2-1. And when time starts to tick down, players get a bit frenzied, get a bit hurried, and lose their composure.
Yeah, and when you work so hard, it's going to be hard for Saudi Arabia, and that's where they'll have to use their bench. You're going to get tired, mentally tired, physically tired, and it is hard, but they have put a shift in at the moment. But there's loads of time left for Argentina to get back into this game.
Clinton Morrison with us on 5 Live, and you can take the World Cup with you wherever you go on BBC Sounds, and got a stoppage here with the man who made that last challenge, Fares Al-Brikan, down, receiving some attention. As I say, 4 games today, 4 games tomorrow, including Germany, Spain and Belgium, all in action on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And you can start your day off with Rick Edwards presenting 5 Live Breakfast from Qatar from 6 in the morning. Coverage of every single match at this World Cup available on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and you can get your daily dose of all the reaction, debate and analysis from the World Cup on the World Cup Daily podcast, which is on BBC Sounds as well. We're going to have a 4th change for Argentina here, and it's the left-back Marcos Acuna of Sevilla who is coming on, and it's like for like with Tagliafico going off. So perhaps just a bit of energy introduced here, Clinton, because as you say, they look a bit out of puff at the moment.
Yeah, and the fullbacks are getting forward a lot, so that's what he's going to want Acuna to do, is get forward, because at the moment they're struggling, and that's where you need your fullback areas, because Saudi Arabia have a really good shape.
Saudi Arabia leading Argentina 2-1, 20 minutes left to play at the Lusail Stadium. I don't think many would have predicted this outcome. I saw the betting odds were something like 25-1 against Saudi Arabia winning this game. in a two-horse race is quite something.
Even if they get a draw, it's a fantastic result, but they'll want to hold on to this because, as you said, everyone thought Argentina would beat Saudi Arabia convincingly.
Lionel Scaloni is at risk of seeing Argentina's long unbeaten run come to an end at the hands of Saudi Arabia, who have won just 3 of their previous 16 matches that they've played at World Cups. They've only reached the knockout stage once, that was in 1994. But what a way to begin this tournament it would be for them and their fans, who have of course travelled in numbers across to Qatar. And Argentina looking to try and get themselves back into this. Less than 20 minutes to play now. De Paul brings it over halfway. Julian Alvarez made a run through the centre. It's gone wide instead, and now it's down the line. The cross comes in, keeper flaps at it, couldn't get a hand on it. It will be kept alive on the left flank by the newly arrived Acuna. Acuna's drilled ball in towards the edge of the area. It's Messi in the D of the box. Lovely pass out wide. Can they get the ball in? Save is made by Alois down smartly. And he's probably going to have to make a few more stops like that if Saudi Arabia are going to earn this famous win.
Yeah, it's great play from Messi. He gets out of his feet and he plays it around the corner to Di Maria. And Di Maria's first touch weren't brilliant, but the second touch was a good strike, but a comfortable save.
Argentina coming again on the far side. Di Maria into the area. Lovely pass across, nearly came to Messi by the penalty spot. Messi tries to pick up the pieces by the corner of the area. He's outmanoeuvred though. Cano has it. And Saudi Arabia looking to clear their lines, and then a miss kick at the back from Abdelhamid. It goes out for a throw to Argentina. Alvarez waits for Acuna to come forwards to take the throw for Argentina. Acuna waits for an option.
You know what you have, Martin, training? You have drills where it's attack against defence. This is what I feel like it's going to be like for the last 20 minutes.
Argentina trailing 2-1 to Saudi Arabia. A massive story brewing at the moment. One of the pre-tournament favourites are on course to be defeated by one of the minnows at the tournament, really. You'd have to describe Saudi Arabia. Ball is worked all the way back towards Emi Martinez in the Argentina goal, and it was a lofted ball back to him by Martinez, which eventually is now collected just outside the area, and forwards come Argentina towards halfway. Worked into the feet of De Paul. De Paul has Lautaro Martinez waiting to make that run, and could he be through here? Out comes the keeper, sliding out of his area, did really well, but he's out of his box now. And as the long-range hit came in from Di Maria to try and catch him out while he was stranded, he didn't get anywhere near the kind of touch he wanted on it. And now Saudi Arabia have themselves a free kick.
That line is so high, but they're all in sync together. And you know what? When eventually Martinez does make it, that's where you need your goalkeeper. And the goalie was brilliant. He came out quick and cleared it. And yeah, the line's good. They're all in sync with it. But you are going to get in sometimes, and that's where you need your goalie to come to your aid. And that's what he's just done there.
You're going to see a yellow card for time wasting here, which no real surprise given that there's just over a quarter of an hour left to play, and Saudi Arabia are edging towards a monumental success. The yellow card awarded to Ali Al-Balehi, and he can't really have many complaints about that. He was saying that he was just putting the ball into a different spot to where it should have been taken from, and the referee was having none of it. Argentina with the ball, but down towards their own goal at the moment. 15 minutes of normal time left to play. Argentina trailing Saudi Arabia 2-1. It is an incredible way to kick off our coverage of the 4 games from the World Cup today. Di Maria arcing ball in with the outside of his boot towards the edge of the 6-yard box. But once again, while it was wonderful approach work from Argentina, when it got into a dangerous area, there was a Saudi Arabia player who'd anticipated it well. Abdelhamid was there, and he knocks it out of play.
Yeah, it's good play from Messi and Di Maria, but need more players in the box, Argentina.
Less than a quarter of an hour to play. In comes the corner, the header over the top harmlessly, and again Saudi Arabia will take their time. This time it was Enzo Fernandez who nodded it over the top. He's not really been able to make much of an impact so far, the Benfica man. And the whistles from the crowd as the goalkeeper this time is delaying the restart for as long as possible, just stretches his hamstrings out, puts his hands on his hips, motions with his fingers to some of his players, and almost 30 seconds has been eaten up while he does that.
I don't blame him. They know they're going to be under pressure, and they are under pressure at the moment. You take as much time as you want. This was going to be one of the greatest stories of the World Cup or ever. If they can go on and beat Argentina.
If it was deal or no deal and Saudi Arabia were offered a draw now, would you take it?
Yeah, I think they'll take it, because before the game they would have definitely have took a draw. So even now they'll take the draw. They'll bite your hand off for a draw.
Hervé Renard, their head coach, looks a picture of calm at the moment in amongst the cacophony of noise, and the green shirts and the green flags of the Saudi Arabia supporters are being waved in a frenzied manner at the moment. They've got the ball down towards the byline. They're desperately trying to win a corner, but it's taken off the toes of Al Abdid, and then there's a foul which has given Argentina the free kick in their left back area, committed by Saud Abdelhamid, who is the right back, and he's right up there at the edge of the Argentina penalty area. Considering they're trying to protect this 2-1 lead against Argentina, I'm not sure that you'd want to see your right back that high up the pitch.
No, but he's been there the whole game, and I feel like the best kind of thing to defend is to go and attack, and that's what they're doing at the moment. They're going on the front foot and they're trying to attack, but Argentina are getting frustrated. They're not ready to make their change yet, and then obviously the Argentina players are getting frustrated, and at the moment Saudi Arabia have got them rattled.
Sultan Al Ghanam, the right back who plays for Al Nassr, is coming on, and Salah Al-Shahiri, the man who scored the stunning goal that gives us the stunning scoreline of 2-1, is going off. He'll remember this day forever, regardless of the scoreline, Clinton.
Oh, of course he will. Scoring against Argentina, and it was a really good goal. Outpaces Romero, and the finish is fantastic into the bottom corner.
And there's confusion on the bench at the moment as one player goes off, and he's confused about something. Argentina are coming forwards. Meanwhile, it's Di Maria by the edge of the area, just ran into traffic, picked up by Messi, clip ball over the top. He was cleaned out there as well. Yep. I think they're going to get a free kick for the challenge on him.
They are going to
He played it over the top. It was a poor pass by him. There was no white and blue shirt anywhere near it, but he was absolutely clattered, and that means free kick Argentina, about 5 yards outside the Saudi Arabia penalty area.
Oh, there's not really much he can do, kind of. He's just standing there, and then he comes out, and yeah, I can understand why it was given, but Messi was really clever. I think they wanted a offside first of all. They said Di Maria, and I think if anything had led to it, it would have been an offside, but it won't now because the free kick's been given.
So, can Messi produce the magic? Argentina in desperate need of it, trailing Saudi Arabia by 2-1. When you think about that, there is a talented and technically gifted Mexico in this group, and a Polish side led by Robert Lewandowski. It's not just the ignominy of defeat to Saudi Arabia, who they'd have been well fancied to have beaten comfortably. It's the threat it poses to qualifying from this group.
Yeah, definitely.
But where there's Messi, there's hope.
Well, 100%. It wouldn't surprise you, would he, if he puts it in the top corner?
Takes a deep breath, puffs his cheeks. It's what, 25, 30 yards out from goal, slightly right of centre. Messi, hands on hips, short run up, icy stare at the ball. Now he looks up, works out his angles. There's a very small Argentinian wall just in front of the Saudi Arabian one, trying to infiltrate and block off the goalkeeper's line of vision. Alois has had a pretty smart game between the sticks for Saudi Arabia so far. Will he be tested here? It's Messi who is surely going to strike it. Lionel Messi steps up over the wall and over the bar as well.
Yeah, poor free kick, to be fair, by his standards, but he can't always deliver. There's got to be other players stepping up to the mark, but he expected him at least to hit the target.
Who would have thought this? We're into the final 10 minutes, and it's Argentina 1, Saudi Arabia 2. 2 goals early in the second half, turning things around for Saudi Arabia. Al-Shahiri, and then a stunner from Al-Dosari, and a big breath taken by Mohamed Alois, the Saudi Arabia goalkeeper. Long run up from him as he clears this goal kick high upfield. I want to keep it down at this end as much as possible. Their flick on will be guided back to Emi Martinez. Martinez sends the long booming clearance upfield. I feel like the World Cup is really coming to life now with this game. Lautaro Martinez caught on his heels. The ball's knocked forwards towards the centre circle. And collected now on halfway by Enzo Fernandez. The substitutes haven't really made their presence felt, but that will be felt. The challenge there by Saud Abdulhamid, the right back, who's been right in the thick of it and has had a very good game. He's made some vital interceptions, some really good tackles, but that challenge was poor on Enzo Fernandez, and it's going to be a free kick for Argentina and a yellow card for him.
Yeah, he's been excellent. Everything he does, he looks like he does it at 100 miles an hour, but he defends like that. He's aggressive in the tackle, he gets forward. He's been outstanding.
Lionel Scaloni, hands on hips, the Argentina head coach, strutting around the edge of his area, still looking pretty bewildered at what has panned out. Argentina dominant in the first half, ahead 1-0, had a few goals chalked off by offside, a couple of very marginal ones. It looked as though it would surely just be a matter of time before they did extend their advantage. They didn't. Saudi Arabia scored twice and they still lead 2-1, the Saudis. On the left flank at the moment now for Argentina with Acuna. Acuna gets to the byline, useful ball in, I thought, and then the goalkeeper, unopposed, pats it down. If there'd been anyone in an Argentina shirt near him, it would have been a tap-in. As it turned out, he was able to gather.
Not enough bodies in the box. You need a goal. Not enough bodies. Martinez and Alvarez is coming in too late. Di Maria should be coming in on the other flank. You need a goal. At the moment, I can't see where it's coming from with Argentina.
2 attempts on target for Saudi Arabia. Both have ended up in the net. 2-1 they lead. 8 minutes left to play. And there's an offside against Julian Alvarez. Saudi Arabia free kick. This will eat some more time out of the game.
Mark, they've got one more sub, haven't they? So they've got one more sub. Unless the Barlow's injured or Carrera at Inter Milan, I'm so surprised he hasn't brought one of them 2-1, because you need to go sacrifice another midfielder and try and get that equaliser, because this result will not go down well in Argentina.
Here is Rodrigo de Paul, works it out to the right side. Di Maria drags it forwards and now waits for the cavalry to arrive, but so do all the Saudi Arabia players, and there's a number of green shirts between him and the goal. He gets it back from de Paul. He's got the overlapping run as well, but instead he goes backwards of square, and it's switched to this left-hand side, and Acuna, who takes it down with his chest. Looked like he may have used an arm. Referee didn't think so. Enzo Fernandez plays it infield, centre field at the moment. Clipped to the edge of the area now, controlled by Di Maria. Long arcing ball in, Messi! Header from 6 yards out, and there was no real power on it. It was on target, but it was such an easy save. He got up really well, but he caught it with the top of his head rather than his forehead, and it just looped forwards, and it was an easy save.
Yeah, he couldn't generate the power. There wasn't enough whipped on it from Di Maria. It was a good ball, but he couldn't generate enough power and couldn't let the net muscles get it into the far corner. But there's a good opportunity for Messi.
Acuna's throw down the line. Argentina are a bit desperate now. 6 minutes of normal time left to play. We'll have a lot of injury time, because generally that's been the rule in all of the World Cup games so far. So there's still time for Argentina. In the centre circle with Otamendi now into the feet of Molina. Molina's ball up the line is overhit and will go behind, and Saudi Arabia will have a goal kick, and Di Maria will go across to put it at the edge of the 6-yard box to try and speed things up. The goalkeeper says that he wants to take it from the other corner of the 6-yard box,
as you will do,
which you knew was going to happen.
You got to realise they will add time at the end. They'll probably be at 7 or 8 minutes if the amount of time they're wasting at the moment. But Argentina have been poor in the second half. I had them down as one of the favourites to win it, but on this evidence, no chance. They're too reliant on Lionel Messi. Other players have to step up to the mark, and if he's not on it, you're looking at the players like Martinez. Hasn't really done anything up front, but might get still a big opportunity.
Well, Tim Vickery was talking about the big miss of Lo Celso. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia looking perhaps for a third goal here, which would really be incredible. Al-Shirani on the left wing plays it down the line. Poor pass. Otamendi waits for Martinez to come, and he comes sliding out, the goalkeeper, and gathers. 5 minutes of normal time remaining, and Saudi Arabia have got a player down here. Argentina are continuing. He's back up now, Albrican, and is limping.
See, I'm not stopping the ball for cramp. No chance in the game for cramp, and that's what he's done. He's just got back up and gone back down. That is what frustrates people. I understand the head injury, and the referee's pointing to his watch to say, I'm going to add it on at the end. But it's frustrating, it's cramp. You just got back up 20 seconds ago, and then the pool said he's not giving the ball back, because I think Saudi Arabia have kicked the ball out. He has to give it back. That's not sportsmanship behaviour, because it's not good though. I don't like all this time wasted. I've seen it a lot over the first few games. Just for cramp, I'm not kicking the ball out.
The referee did signal that there will be time added on for this, and while we have a break in play while the treatment is being administered, let's get the team news from our second commentary of 4 today. Denmark against Tunisia, and at the Education City Stadium, it's Vicky Sparks.
The news that everyone has been waiting to hear, the news that we're all delighted to hear. Christian Eriksen starts at a major tournament for Denmark once again as they prepare to take on Tunisia.
Thank you very much, Vicky. So Denmark against Tunisia with Vicky and Pat Nevin coming up for you at 1 o'clock. Mexico, Poland at 4, and then it's France, Australia at 7 o'clock. But here at the Lusail Stadium, it is Argentina trailing Saudi Arabia 2-1, and Argentina did not give the ball back from that throw-in. They felt that was play acting. They didn't want to be involved in it. They've kept the ball. That's why you can hear the boos and whistles from those of a Saudi Arabia persuasion, and Argentina have still maintained possession. If they score from this, there'll be real controversy, and they might do as well. The ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, eventually cleared up towards halfway. Really good header won by Albrican for Saudi Arabia, and he's still got the ball on the left wing. He's got Otamendi for company. He's done so well to maintain possession. Now he's waiting, and he's swiveled away from a couple of them. He's still going. He's trying to get to the byline. He's challenged, and Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, wins the ball. It comes off him. It's out for a throw, but that was excellent play, and there's going to be a double change now for Saudi Arabia.
Brilliant centre forward. That is how you run down the clock and bide your time. He flicked the ball on and still beat Otamendi to the ball and got there, held it up, and then Martinez had to come and do defending. It's brilliant play.
Well, the substitute is being substituted here. Nawaf Al Abdid, the number 18 for Saudi Arabia, who came on just before the break, is going to be withdrawn. We're going to see the centre half, Abdullah Al Amri, come on, and no surprise that it's a more defensively minded switch here with Albrican, who did really well just holding the ball up there, departing, and another defender coming on in Haitham Asiri.
I'm actually starting to believe they can actually do it now. The time's running down. I know there'll be a lot of stoppage time, but wow, because Argentina are not really creating any big opportunities.
So we have 90 seconds of the 90 minutes left to play. Saudi Arabia incredibly leading Argentina by 2-1. One of the pre-tournament favourites, certainly massive favourites to win this game. Need a goal as we edge towards stoppage time. Messi's been dispossessed. There's no foul on him. The ball has been collected though on halfway and floated forwards, but another challenge comes in. The foul's starting to tot up now. It's Di Maria who's gone over on the right flank. Free kick for Argentina. They're in a hurry. Rodrigo de Paul takes it quickly. Di Maria jinks and weaves and gets towards the edge of the area, and he's knocked over about 5 yards outside the box. It's another free kick for Argentina.
Yeah, they've been like this the whole game, Saudi Arabia. They've made some big tackles, they made some important tackles, and they're giving away a lot of free kicks, but they've been defending them ever so well. And you're going to get tired minds, tired legs, but they've been a credit to themselves and to their manager, this afternoon so far.
Hervé Renard, what a job he's generally been doing, and what a result this would be for him and for Saudi Arabia. We are in to the last minute of normal time. There will be a lot of injury time added on, but Lionel Messi is over this free kick. Last one he took was a real waste, just sent it over the bar. This is more of a crossing position, and it's not him who takes it. It's floated in, they're queuing up in there. It's cleared away, and they will rebuild Argentina. Enzo Fernandez on the left flank tries to get the ball in, fired low in towards goal and whipped across and wide from Julian Alvarez, but it got a touch. It'll be a corner. We're into additional time. How much of it will there be? We're waiting to find out.
Yeah, we're waiting for the ball to come up so we know how many minutes, but it's good defending that. Alvarez was really sharp.
Acuna with this corner, outswinger towards the penalty spot region.
8 minutes, Mark. 8 minutes.
Oh, I thought there might be more than that. And Argentina have already seen almost a minute of that 8 disappear, trailing to Saudi Arabia. Whipped in well, and the goalkeeper's come a long way and has dropped it. No foul, hook goalwards, it's off the line. And now the flag goes up for offside. Wow.
Yes, it does. He's going to book the goalkeeper as well. As the goalkeeper says it, the referee didn't give the foul initially. I think the linesman's give the foul. It's either a foul or he's give it for offside. But I don't know why the goalie's getting involved, because the decision's already been given. But time is running out for Argentina, Mark. What a story this will be in the World Cup.
Well, there was no foul on him. That's what he was frustrated about. It was a ball clipped in really well by Rodrigo de Paul, and there was an offside in there. So it wouldn't have counted anyway. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, the goal line clearance was absolutely magnificent from Abdullah Al-Amri, who's only just come on the pitch as well. He was alert there to get back and make that clearance.
Brilliant. What a story this is building up to.
Well, it is the story of the World Cup so far. I know that we're only a couple of days into it, but what a headline grabber this is going to be. Argentina, that lengthy unbeaten run is set to come to an end against Saudi Arabia. Not many would have thought that they would be the team that eventually defeated Lionel Scaloni's side. Pumped long forwards by Mohamed Alouais, and Saudi Arabia have collected it in centre field, and they might have an overload here. It's Abdelhamid who's got to the byline, and he's won a corner. Just what the doctor ordered for Saudi Arabia.
Silly defending from Acuna. It's obviously just let him cross it, because you've got no one in there, because now he goes and wins a corner. So listen, I know initially he'll probably think he has to get back in, but the time is running out. But you know, they've missed Lo Celso. Argentina have a brilliant front three. Their midfield is very weak. They have players in there who are neat and tidy. They don't have that creative spark that can unlock it and give it to Messi to go and do his stuff. So that's where they struggle.
Corner kick then for Saudi Arabia, leading Argentina by 2-1. Al Dossari is over the corner kick. They've knocked it short, of course they have. They haven't kept it down by the corner flag at the moment. Al Dossari with some neat footwork, and they've caught themselves offside there, because they were knocking it between the two of them. And Argentina have got play underway quickly with the free kick. 4 minutes of injury time left to play. Messi collects the ball on halfway, tries to jink and weave. We've seen some flashes from him, but not the trademark dribbles where he's beaten a collection of players. He's had 1 or 2 defence-splitting passes that have led to goals that have been chalked off for offside, but it's not been the Messi that perhaps we were hoping to see.
For me, it doesn't look 100% fit, but he still had an impact of where he's got on the ball and tried to make things happen. But yeah, he needs to be doing that further up the pitch. He's dropping so deep now to create stuff, because they can't get him the ball.
Here is Rodrigo de Paul, deep inside his own half, swings it to the far side. Looked offside to me. The flag didn't go up. It's going to be a throw to Argentina. Across to take it is Molina. Molina hurls it back towards halfway. Now it's Rodrigo de Paul. Square pass from him to Enzo Fernandez. It's just outside the centre circle. Long ball forwards. The keeper's come a long way, and there's no foul. And the keeper's out of his ground. It's Messi edge of the area. The keeper's still not quite got back. Messi's lost his way. Saudi Arabia have the ball back. They've got away with one there because they were waiting for a free kick to come that didn't. And if that had been knocked on target, Saudi Arabia may have been struggling. There's a head injury now at the moment, and they want the trainer to come out and tend to him. The referee, Slavko Vincic, is being pulled one way and then the other. Argentina players saying it's play acting, and they just want to run down the clock.
Let me tell you something, that's not play acting. The goalkeeper's caught him in his knee, right on his jaw, and then his head's hit the ground. The referee should have stopped that immediately. Should not have let play continue, because that is a bad injury. The goalkeeper's come out, and that's why he's been ushering him. He's kneed him right in his jaw, and then his head's hit the ground. It's sickening.
That is, you took the words out of my mouth, a sickening collision there. If you saw the Iran against England game yesterday and the collision between the goalkeeper and one of his defenders, it's sort of like that, but actually an even worse collision, I think, in terms of the momentum of the knee in the face there. and there is absolutely no way that this player should be continuing in the game.
No chance. I saw that
you
yesterday.
Say that, but yesterday he did continue for a bit.
that was embarrassing yesterday. The medical team have to have a look at their stuff. I can't. You're taking even if a player told you he's all right, you could tell by looking at him. His nose was broken. His eyes were all over the place. Should never be continue. And that is one thing I don't like when players are saying they're all right. Make the decision. You're the medical team. Your health is more important than playing a game of football.
Hervé Renard looks remarkably calm for a man who is on the cusp of masterminding what would be a global sensation of a story. Saudi Arabia 2-1 up against Argentina. We've got 2 minutes of injury time left to play, but there's going to be longer than that because of the injury at the moment, and we're just waiting to see who the replacement is going to be that comes on. At the moment, the Saudi Arabia supporters are singing, they're waving their caps and scarves. I did actually see one supporter come into the ground earlier who I believe is a Saudi Arabia fan. He had a Saudi Arabia shirt on, but he had Messi on the back of it, which I guess is perhaps a modern equivalent of the half and half scarves.
Yeah, and having the best player in the world, in my eyes, in my opinion, he's the best in the world. So, yeah, having him on your shirt, everyone wants to have Messi. I should have came in here today with my Messi shirt on.
I'm sure Messi walks around with Clinton Morrison on the back of his shirt.
I wish.
At the moment, it's some glum-looking Argentina supporters who would surely have come here in expectation rather than hope, but concern looks on their faces at the moment. There was concern as well, given the nature of that injury, and it's Mohamed Al-Burak who is the replacement, the right back, who is another of the Al Hilal players, but the stretcher still out at the moment, and we just hope that everything is okay here, because it was a really bad collision, and the stretcher is now taking him off the pitch. The Saudi Arabia supporters still chanting and jumping, and well, they can barely believe what they are perhaps about to see unfold here. We have had the 8 additional minutes that were signalled, but it's anyone's guess how much more we're going to have because of that stoppage, Clinton.
Yeah, there could be, I think, another 4 still probably on top of that, so there's still enough time for Argentina to score an equaliser.
Al-Burak is ready to come on. Al-Burak is waiting for the referee to allow him to come onto the pitch. The substitution still impending rather than having been actioned, which is a surprise, given that the substitution's been made and Al-Sharani has gone off. Well, he put his thumbs up to the physio, which is great to see. Yeah. He's bandaged up, but he is awake and communicating, so that is great news.
Brilliant news. You love to see that. He's got a lot of band tissue in his nose and his mouth because it was a heavy collision.
And he's had an exception. Both the fullbacks, Yasser Al-Sharani, who's just gone off, and Abdul Hamid have been exceptional for Saudi Arabia. So we're back underway. We've had stoppage time. We're into the 9th minute, but we don't know how much more we're going to have. Argentina into the unknown. They poked it forward here. It's collected by Alvarez, who turns and hits. And the celebration from Saad Abdul Hamid as he makes the block to send it away from a corner is like he's scored a goal. It will be a corner that they have to defend, though. Argentina almost out of time. In it comes from Acuna. They're queuing up in there. It's nowhere near a blue and white shirt in the end, though. It's recycled and knocked to Acuna. Left wing. Clever pass from him. Alvarez's ball in doesn't have enough elevation on it, but it's behind for another Argentina corner. When does Emi Martinez come up?
Yeah, I thought he would have been up by now, to be fair, but no, they defended brilliantly, Saudi Arabia. Every ball they've won, the first ball all the time.
In it comes from Acuna again. But it's not worked out for Argentina. It's knocked square by Martinez, and now it's floated into the area. The keeper stayed. Is that risky? He makes the save. It's another looping header from Julian Alvarez. He got himself into a good area, but there was no power on it. It just went up and across, and the only worry for him was that he might be lobbed by it, but he did one of those saves for the cameras, plucked it in. We've played 100 minutes now at the Lusail Stadium. The venue for the final is seeing some drama early on in the World Cup. Argentina trailing by 2-1 to Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia have it in centre field. Al Malki spins it wide to Abdul Hamid. They just need to try and keep possession for as long as they possibly can now. They've got it down by the corner flag with Al Ghanam. Al Ghanam goes to ground. He's not going to get a free kick. Argentina have possession, but it's inside their own penalty area. How much longer will they have to try and get a goal? Messi has the ball at his feet, dribbling forwards over halfway, knocks it to Di Maria, right wing. Di Maria cuts in field, looking for the out ball, but it's a poor pass, and it's all the way behind for a goal kick. It's behind, and how much longer is there left?
I think when the goalie takes the kick, that might be it. Di Maria Martinez been poor today. Poor.
Slavko Vincic has looked at his watch, which is perhaps an indication that the end is nigh for Argentina in this game. Hervé Renard, in that crisp white shirt of his, just drinks it all in, takes a look around the stadium. This is a moment for the ages for Saudi Arabia, if they can see it out. The goalkeeper, Mohamed Alouais, gets ready to take the goal kick. He sends it long, still no sign from the referee that he's about to blow. It's come off an Argentina head from the goal kick and out for a throw to Saudi Arabia. 102 minutes have been played now, and the throw-in is about to be taken by Saudi Arabia down in the right wing area. He's pointing to his watch now, the coach, but he's doing it with a smile.
And when he should smile as well. His team have been outstanding.
Hervé Renard almost there. The throw is taken. It's down in that right wing area, and they've lost possession, but they've got the ball back on halfway.
Great
Absolutely
decision.
walloped straight out of play and behind for a goal kick to
and the
Argentina.
ball ain't coming back anytime soon. Quickly. That's a great decision, to be fair.
Emi Martinez takes the goal kick short. We've had 103 minutes now played in the game. Will there be one last chance for Argentina? No idea how much longer is left to play, but they're on borrowed time now. It's Messi, square pass, Lisandro Martinez, low flat ball in, could have worked out, doesn't. Messi tries to charge it down on the edge of the area, hammered clear. Slavko Vincic looks at his watch once again, but on we go.
I don't understand. Do you know where he's got
Saudi
this time
Arabia
from?
players have all got their arms in the air. They're asking, why are we still playing? The answer is that there was that lengthy stoppage. We don't know how long that is going to add on to the additional time we've already had. It's Acuna for Argentina, trailing Saudi Arabia by 2-1. Another headed clearance from Acuna's ball in. Argentina on halfway. Enzo Fernandez needs to get it forwards. Long raking crossfield pass towards Di Maria. The headed clearance drops to Messi outside the area. Messi tries to feed it through. It's a cluster of players there. They clear it up to halfway once again. Still on we go.
I think he don't want to. He wants to stay here, Mark.
Now.
He wants to stay here all night, all day, because
the whistle
I don't understand
is in
where
his lips. The whistle's in his lips.
Yep.
That is it. Wow. Saudi Arabia. It's sensational. Argentina have been beaten. What a result at this World Cup. Argentina cannot believe it. Leading by 1-0, undone by 2 Saudi goals early in the second half. And then Hervé Renard's side hung on. They did the job. A monumental result. It's superb for the Saudis. Argentina beaten. What an outcome. It's the venue for the final. Will we see any more drama than this, though, in the competition? Clinton Morrison.
What a game. What a best game of the tournament I'm going for. I know England were very good yesterday, but for a result, this was fantastic. The underdogs, and they were first half nowhere near it, Saudi Arabia. Second half, by far the better team. Argentina could have been there all night. I don't think they would have scored. They defended brilliant and put their bodies on the line. Thoroughly deserve it. Biggest shock of the World Cup, but they deserve it. I had Argentina as one of the favourites, and they still can progress, because I still think they're good enough to win their next 2 games. But this is all about Saudi Arabia. Credit to them, credit to their manager.
Argentina, 36 games unbeaten. They were set to equal Italy's record in terms of international men's action, but they've been beaten by Saudi Arabia, who'd only won 3 of their 16 matches at World Cup finals before today. It is a monumental result. It's sensational. It's Saudi Arabia who have beaten Argentina by 2-1, Mark.
Now, I bet this morning when you woke up, you weren't thinking, I know what I'll do. I'll listen to Argentina against Saudi Arabia on the radio. But once you heard that a shock may be happening, you tuned in and you are with us now. And that is why you need to take us wherever you go during this World Cup on BBC Sounds, because you never know where the shock will be, where the stories will come from. And that is seismic. On day 3 at the World Cup, Argentina have been beaten by Saudi Arabia. You don't get this drama on Ken Bruce's Popmaster, let me tell you.